Hello. Welcome to the podcast.
This is Me Good Yarn. My name's Jackie.
Carmen. You know, I'm like, do we even know what we're doing?
This is the hardest part of the
I
podcast,
know.
is getting started and trying to be organized.
And like, who's saying what? We don't even talk, because
No.
we don't talk. Okay, so hello, welcome. Maybe there's some new people here. Welcome to our channel. This is Abby. Jackie always says it's a knitty, fibery, chatty, sometimes spinny podcast, something like that, where we just talk about mostly knitting.
Yeah, mostly knitting, I think, this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is very, very hot right now. In it's what, like 30?
Yeah, it is
Celsius?
not knitter's weather, in my opinion. It is like the opposite of knitter's weather.
Yeah.
I also made Carmen go upstairs and grab like 4 different items. So Carmen is especially like feeling the heat because you've been up and down the stairs like 6 times.
Yes.
Can I bring this? Oh, what about this? What about that?
Yes, it's good. Get my steps in.
Yes.
Good stuff. So,
We're back earlier than usual.
yes.
And I think I say this every episode, but like last time I was like, okay, if we come back a little bit early, we like might have fewer
things.
finished objects. But one of the things that we talked about last episode that you guys were so like enthused about was the idea of doing a WIP-down episode.
Yes.
So we might get there, we might not get there, because in the process of prepping for the WIP-down episode, I ended up being like, I love all these whips, I should finish them.
There you go.
And so I have like so many finished objects,
I
which
love
is just such a lovely
How unusual
feeling.
for Jackie.
Like
Jackie
my
always
output was like definitely feels higher. Like I know that I'm
That's
like pretty
incredible.
prolific.
Yes.
But I was like packing down. I was like, dang, like how did I get through this much? And I was like, all right, because I knit like I did the last 30%
Yes.
of projects,
everything.
right?
Yep.
And also, what is happening? I'm wearing I knit a summer thing.
did.
Self-proclaimed.
Gorgeous
I
one.
do not knit summer tops. Summer tops also like happen really quickly.
They happen.
They're
they happen
so
quickly.
satisfying.
They are. And have you noticed that you have places like to wear it, like where it's like
Yes.
you just want to add that extra little bit on, and then it's I never really understood them until really this year, and now I'm like I wear them all the time.
I know. You know, it turns out that after all of the years of proclaiming that like I'm not a summer knitter, I just needed my like knitting bestie, aka like influencer number 1 in my life, to bring out one beautiful summer top.
That
This
was
was
it.
the Salty Air Tea by Samantha Guerin, and I was like, chuck everything I'm knitting summer tops.
It's good.
Also finding a base that we love. I
Yes.
think that has made a big difference also.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
so-
Although I'm feeling it today, although mine has mohair in it, so that's probably why.
It's so
I'm hot.
beautiful. Yeah, we got a lot of finished objects that we will wear for a grand total of 3 minutes.
3 minutes,
I
yeah.
wonder if we'll go faster because we need to take the knits off, so we'll
It
talk
might
about
be.
it less.
It might be.
Who knows?
Oh my gosh, too funny. Too funny.
Okay, now that
Do we have to do the like beginning part? Like, do you guys need to know the whole like?
Well, I
you know,
assume
there's
that
going to
there
be
are new people.
chapters.
Okay.
Yeah, but we kind of do the same thing as but there's chapters here, so you can skip ahead. We go a long time often. We always say maybe today we won't, but we probably will.
Yeah.
Although we do have some time constraints later. But
Yes.
anyway, show notes in the little drop down, and yeah.
I think
Jackie updates her Ravelry well. I do not, but maybe you will.
most, like, if you want information about the various knits, show notes are the place to find it, and or leave us a comment.
Yes.
Because we, as many of you know, I hope that you're like gathering snacks and food while we go through this admin piece again. But welcome to those of you who are maybe finding us for the first time. We're like a one-shot deal.
Yes.
So we just like sit and we have a bunch of knitting, and whatever happens until we run out of battery, or we decide, oh my God, 3.5 hours is really too long for a podcast. For us to be talking, like we actually do run
We
out
might be
of talking
starving.
steam.
Yeah, we're starving.
But as a result of being one shot, like often we forget things that knitters might want to know about projects. So leave us a comment, and we'll try and get that information to you, because it's really sweet that you think that I'm good at Ravelry.
I think you are. Aren't you? You could be better than me. I haven't updated it in a long time.
I feel like I only update for test knits.
This is the thing. So this is what's happened. I used to take a lot of pictures, like for my Instagram. I would go like to you know, places and just like do a little photo shoot. And apart from test knits, I don't do it anymore, I think, because of the podcast.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like I've already done it, but then that doesn't really give.
Yeah, it feels like I've told the story about it.
Yeah.
And I also, like, my preference actually is like, you know, I appreciate all the people who are doing like beautiful finished object photos, but my preference is to see things on 3D,
Totally.
like in 3D.
Yes.
So I kind of feel like it's like I just gotten it out of my system.
Yeah.
And I hope that y'all get what you need between the show notes and like leaving comments, assuming that you want to know things about our knits.
But I do want to get back into, because I appreciate, and for those of you who can use Ravelry, there is something so useful about looking at pictures, right? Yeah. And I feel like I'm not doing my part on the pictures.
And
so
also
I'm setting that as an intention.
Also all the helpful mods. I think that's the other thing that I also feel like I want to give back to the sort of knitting community with the various mods.
I always forget what I've done.
I mean, I have such admiration for like notebook journaling, scrapbooky people who like have these like beautiful spreads and they like track things.
I know. And they use washi tape.
I know, it's so beautiful. I'm like, could I put the thing on Ravelry? You know, it would also be really helpful if I used Ravelry is knowing what the heck needle size I used.
I should just do it every single time. I should just like start the project and put it, like, start it in Ravelry. That's what I should do.
Any tips? Any scrapbooky
journaling
like,
girls,
humans?
Honestly, just do it. Like, there's no tip. You're not gonna add any extra stuff. You just gotta do it. Like, click, put it in.
It's so funny how we have such random random walls or random resistances, right? Of just like, it really doesn't take that much effort, but it feels like this gargantuan like leap of like, I'm gonna go around. I don't want to do it. Yeah. Having to track.
It's true.
Yeah. In any case.
Well, thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy. So we are wearing the same color.
This was not planned.
Yeah.
Although in a way, I'm not hugely surprised.
Yes.
Because last episode, Carmen showed this beautiful top, which you can barely see.
There's lace all through there.
But was knit in Sonder Yarn Co.'s Fleece and Flax, which is a 75% BFL, 25% linen base, which is coming this month. We don't know when, but it's coming in all different colors. And the moment that I got my hands on this, the really fabric is incredible. And so of course I went home and immediately was like, I must cast one on, or cast a top on.
It was funny because you're like, I'm doing this one, and I'm like, we'll see. I actually think you're gonna do a different top.
Yeah, I did.
I know, it looks beautiful. So tell me what it is.
What
is this? It's gorgeous.
So this is the Pine Creek crop, which is another pattern by Samantha Guerin.
Oh,
so I almost cast on the salty ART, but I was looking for a birthday cast on, and so this ended up being my birthday cast on. And so it's a round yoke, has some short rows in the back. You do this like really fun, engaging lace pattern, and then there's a little bit of raglan shaping, and then sleeves.
Beautiful. Did you do the sleeves according to pattern, or did you change them?
I did the sleeves according to pattern. This base actually is, we talk about how one should swatch a lot on this podcast. And this is definitely one of those scenarios where I'm really happy with how it turned out, but my intention was for me to knit a tee that was like this, and it didn't come out that way because I did like a lazy swatch, and my lazy swatch lied to me. So this is like,
but it's perfect.
It's like more, there's less ease than I intended, but I'm actually really happy with how it turned out.
Yep.
So I knit it off gauge. The gauge in the pattern is like 20 something, and I thought my gauge was somewhere between 16 and 17, and it ended up like 19.
So the opposite of what happened with me.
Yes.
Mine ended up a lot bigger.
Yeah, yours ended up a lot bigger. And I used the needle size that you use thinking I'm a looser knitter than Carmen, so I'm just going to use the same needle size. And then I ended up with like this teeny tiny thing,
So weird.
which is really interesting. Although now that I reflect on it, it's like, okay, the base was the same, but this is dyed and this is not. And so can you really like
it dyed?
Is it dyed?
Oh, I guess.
Is the black dyed? Do BFL sheep come this color? My assumption is that this is dyed, but
No,
we don't
I guess
actually
it
know.
must be
Melissa,
dyed.
sorry.
That's right.
I do believe that this is dyed. I feel like it's got that like like that like cool undertone black
Yes,
that I
you're right.
feel like I don't see in sheep except for Gotland.
You're right. Okay.
Do BFL come in this color? Anyhow, so this is the undyed sort of base. And it was really remarkable to me because I knit this and then I have another one I also knit in the black, and it was almost like two different yarns. I don't know if you had the same experience.
I feel the same, and I wasn't sure if it was because of the little mohair, but now when I try yours on, like I think it's slightly different.
So I mean, this yoke was such a joy. I mean, like we sort of talked about, I really didn't think I was going to be a summer knitter, but this base, like the 25% linen, really like makes it summery,
airy. Yeah, it has that feel.
It has something, and then this has been off my needles for about like a week and a half, and I like reach for it all the time. And it was you and this like cropped and the dresses and that kind of thing. And you know, I have a lot of like spaghetti strapped or like halter top, sort of like jumpsuits and rompers and things that, you know, are lovely when I'm actually outside, but when you're inside,
this is
too cold.
Sometimes you just want to throw it on, and then also have something that's easy to just take off if you're hot and you stick it in your purse.
Yes.
So it's like
it's like a baby shawl.
It is.
It's a baby shawl.
It is that stays, and you don't have to like wrap up. It's cooler than a shawl.
Yes, it's cooler than a shawl. Yeah. But I mean,
I love this pattern. It's so
think
pretty.
This is my first Samantha Guerin
Such a beautiful
garment.
neckline.
And what I love is, you know, there are just these little details, and I think there's something about the way that she spaces her increases in a yoke.
Yes.
That is super duper gorgeous.
Yes.
One of the things that I love about this particular pattern is that the lace work, the way that it worked out with my gauge, that the lace work sort of ends for me, I feel like at the perfect place.
It really does.
So that I'm not having to worry so much about like undergarment color, and it's not so much that I don't want my undergarments to be seen as wanting the yoke to kind of have like to be continuous as opposed to like having a line in the middle of the yoke because your like undergarment starts, which is like a different color.
That's a
that
good
sort
point.
of thing.
Yes, yes.
And I really love this, and the bonus around it and is like you don't have sleeves. Like essentially there's like a little bit of raglan shaping, and then I think it was like 3 rows or like 4 rows of stockinette where you have to like pick up your stitches, and then you're into ribbing, and it's like no sleeve island.
3 rows?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Look.
Oh, here, sorry.
Here. Yeah, sorry.
For some reason I was like
sleeve,
in the body.
No, the sleeve in and of itself.
Absolutely.
It's so joyous, and you're just like, and I'm done.
And I'm done.
And I'm done.
Well, and then if you're cropping it too, that it's less in the body too. So you're just basically like given a sweater like right away.
You get a garment. Easier. And I also feel like, at least for me, like my yoke is my favorite part.
Yes.
Right? Like you get all of the like fun and the interest of you know, like a full sweater.
Yes.
Minus all the stockinette.
Yeah.
And then you get to wear knitwear in the summer.
I know.
Is amazing.
This is so pretty. I'm so glad I'm glad you did another one of her patterns too, because as we talked about last time, like I was reminded doing this one again of just how good a designer she is. Like, and that she does things slightly differently. There's lots of tiny little differences, but they end up being so beautiful.
Yeah. I can never remember the name of this because in my head this reminds, like when I looked at the pattern, the reason I chose it was because I wanted sort of like feathers. They look like little wings to me.
Yes.
Although I do also see how it like Pine Creek, and I'm always thinking, is it the pine cone crop? But it's not the pine cone crop. But yes, love it. Highly recommend it. And one of the other things that I really appreciate about using this particular base for like a summer knit is that, at least for me, the stitch gauge is like, what am I trying to say? Like, you knit this up and your gauge was like 17 stitches per four. Like it went from like 17 to 21. And I find that a lot of summer tops are knit with fingering weight yarn because you want it to be light, so it's like teeny tiny, right? Like you end up having the gauge is really small, whereas with this base, because of the BFL or just because of how it's milled, it blooms so much that you end up being able to knit it at a bigger gauge, which makes it more airy and more like summer friendly. And one of the things that I love about Samantha Guerin's designs, and the reason why I went with hers, is she has such a wide range of sizes that it's really easy for you to adjust for your gauge. So like, I mean, I probably wouldn't have chosen like, I think it's like 22 stitches, and 22 for me is like in the area of feeling like too many, like toothpicky. That said, 22, when you don't have arms and you like crop it, it's like not so bad. However, I think it's nice that because she has such a wide size range, that you can kind of pick your yarn, theoretically maybe swatch, figure out what gauge you like, and then it's easy, especially I feel like with round yokes, with a little bit of raglan shaping, for you to like choose a different size to get the garment that you want at like a bigger gauge,
or smaller gauge,
gauge.
So what you're saying is that like it's not just the width of the range, but it's also like the points in between, right? So if you have like smaller size or increments, you get more ability to
like sort of choose your size. And what was really what really surprised me about this yarn, I'm interested to sort of to see if it's the same with other sort of summer yarns, is that the stitch gauge is like, you can really stretch stitch gauge, but my row gauge was quite small. Does that make sense? Like I think I ended up at like 18 stitches and 36 rows.
Oh, interesting.
Right, so my row gauge is sort of like fingering, in my head it's like a fingering weight row gauge, but your stitch gauge can expand a little bit, which for like summer tops, where I do think that the yoke depth matters, you can get that like airy, bigger stitch gauge, but you're not gonna end up, as I have done in other knits, where like by sizing up your needle to get like an airy fabric, then your row gauge also grows, and then your like yoke is like too deep. I see. This really worked out for me. So, you know, something to think about, and props to Samantha Guerin for like an epic number of gorgeous,
she has so many
airy, lacy, like engaging looking summer knits. It just
she like that's got to be another one. I'm gonna have to like cast on another one.
Super satisfying.
We'll see if I can though, because if we go through the WIPs, I might not be able to cast on anything for a while.
You know what's so funny though, it occurred to me as I looked at the calendar for like our podcast, I was like, it's like time to start thinking about Rhinebeck sweater.
For some of us, because I do it right at the last minute. But yes, I know, it's almost coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, I think she usually does it in August.
When does Andrea Mowry drop her Rhinebeck sweater pattern?
It's like the beginning of August. Which is only like 3 weeks away.
I think it's earlier. I thought it was July. I've been like waiting, and then I was like, is Andrea Mowry doing with this year? Anyhow, so I feel like I'm like in a summer mood, but I also, it's like being a knitter, you have to knit like out of season all the time.
Yeah, well, you can.
Yeah, if you want to be knitting, if you want to wear the thing in the season, depending on how fast you are, you have to like go up one.
Again, a little like nod to summer knits, because like this can be done like in not very long, because I don't know how many like did this go just over?
It was like a week and a bit.
And like how many skeins did you use?
104 grams. I was trying so hard not to break into that second skein. I was like, come on, but I couldn't finish the ribbing. I needed it for basically the ribbing in the sleeves.
Yes, but that's the thing, right? So you kind of, even if you're doing all the stitches, it's still only about 400 yards of knitting.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take as long as, you know, for like a sweater, to me, a fingering weight sweater long sleeves, usually around 1,200 yards, you know, so that's significant hint.
Yeah. And there's also something about like that I'm loving. I feel like I discovered the crop in the past like 12 months. And there's something about the crop which has expanded my ability to mix knitwear with like dresses and skirts and jumpsuits. And bonus, like, less knitting.
Less knitting. Even though we love knitting. We've talked about this before. We love knitting, but we want it to go really fast. But we also don't want it to go fast. It's a weird thing.
It's a weird, I mean, I think what I've established in like, you know, prepping for the WIP-down is that like, I don't have great stamina. Like I'm not monogamous. I like to move around. I could, even the knits that I love, like I need the like dopamine of something different.
That makes sense.
So I feel like summer tops, it's like you, for me, it's like the perfect amount and it's the perfect length and then you're done with it, as opposed to like it going to the WIP pile that I have a little bit of like, it's fine. It's fine that I'm not monogamous. It's fine that it's there, but I do kind of have this like feeling like that garment is like in the corner in its project bag being like, you left me, what about me?
Well,
happens.
Yes, it happens.
But okay, can we talk about this though?
Yes.
Can we also talk about this?
So this is the Islet drop. I think it's called Islet drop.
Yes.
Okay, so this is Leila Raven's sweater collection. Like well, it's not just sweaters. So you get a pattern. Well, you can buy the pattern separately, or you can get the two. There's a drop. There's a raglan version, and then this is the drop shoulder version.
And there's a shawl.
And there's a shawl, and there's a little like scarf. Like it's just a whole, and it's beautifully laid out, and you get this little booklet. It's just awesome. Anyway, so this is the drop. I might have made this shorter. I can't remember.
What do you mean you made it shorter?
I think this might be shorter sleeves than it should be in the pattern. I think I just kind of finished it. This one actually was a yarn chicken. I had like this much left of the one skein.
Oh, you got it under one skein?
I got it under one skein, but that's because you can see in here is a little mohair. So I also use the natural linen, natural color
fleece and flax.
Yes, you did a good job talking about that. Thank you. So I use that one, and then I use Hibou, which is the white from Sonder Yarn Co as well. You can barely see it here, but I really wanted something that was very low contrast. If you look at Leila Raven's other, like in her, if you want to, I don't know, look it up. Her options, some of them are quite dramatic. So like this color with a white, which is so beautiful too. But I don't know, I wanted a sweater I could just throw on at work. And this is again, something I'm living in it. To the point where sometimes I'm like taking a picture, like, like texting a friend or something like this and taking a picture and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm wearing that sweater again. This is like the third time this week I've had this on. So anyway, it's super, super pretty. Very, as you can see, a very simple lace pattern that you're just gonna repeat. It's a 12 row repeat that would cover, from here to the end of the mohair. And this one's bottom up. So the raglan is a top down.
That's her. Oh.
Now I gotta find
There we go.
Oh look, she actually has it very similar.
There's
look at me.
So there's a low contrast
Influenced
one.
by her.
But there's also a high contrast one.
So pretty.
So pretty.
Yeah, that'll work. And actually you can kind of see how I think this longer, oh no, I guess she's carrying it, covering it. I just basically stopped it here, but I really like how it worked. And what I liked also in her pattern or in the booklet was that she was talking about the difference between a raglan and a drop.
Did you buy the because there's like an ebook where you get the like they're all available individually, and then there's like the sweater pack, which is drop and raglan.
Yes, and the scarf and the shawl and the
okay, wow.
And it's all like laid out in this really beautiful, like it's a lookbook.
Amazing.
Like it really, she's such a like design. I mean, everybody's designers, I know, but like she just really has this like it was editorial, like it was just really, really cool. So she described how, I knew I wanted a drop because I'm in a drop shoulder phase. I just really, really like it. But she talked about, you don't see it as well with, oh no, I guess you still have the lines. The drop goes like this. Like she's like, do you want this to be like this and come over your shoulders, or the raglan would go up? So do you want this look, or do you want this look, like an uplifting one? Do you see? Because
in terms of the stripes, you mean?
Yeah,
like in
so
terms
the stripes
of the
would go here, and then they would actually go up. If you find it on her thing,
because
you
the
can probably
raglan
see.
is also bottom up.
No, so it's
No,
top
we're
down.
top down. Okay.
Yep, so you got a raglan, top down, drop, bottom up. And at first I was like, oh, bottom up. But again, bottom up, you're getting the annoying part out of the way.
The
annoying
most
part.
number of stitches. It's kind of like you get fewer, like you end up, when you have, like at least for me, when you have like the most momentum.
Yes.
For a large number of stitches, bottom up, like as the momentum starts to wane, or as I start to get distracted and thinking about the next thing, you're making more visible progress because you go. I'm assuming. Did you seam by the side, or is it like in the round?
It's
and
in the
then
round.
It splits.
It's in the round, and then it splits back and forth, and then you seam the top.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
Like, look at how pretty it all comes together. Now, I have a much tighter. This wasn't even going to where it should have been. So, and she mentions that if you have like linen, to not make it as tight because might not be able to like
the bind off or the seam, the seaming
length. So you are because you've already bound this off, and then you're sewing it together.
Right.
Yeah, and so you'll see when I take this off that I have to like get it around my nose and stuff, like, because it's just.
Do you remember what size you knit?
2.
Okay.
Yes. My gauge, I have no idea. I actually have no idea.
I'm staring at I'm staring at it like side by side. And somehow I actually feel like you have become a looser, like I'm a tighter knitter than you now. Like what the heck has
I don't know
happened?
what's going on, but I am a looser knitter now. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm maybe more relaxed in life.
Maybe I'm more uptight.
I don't know what it is, but I am noticing that I'm always a little bit bigger, like looser.
And you knit on bamboos also, don't you?
So this one was on bamboos.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. But I also tend to like a wider, right now I'm in a phase of like very
wide and cropped. Yeah.
So I'm always like, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
That's my MO anyway. It'll be fun. Like whatever I end up with, I'm willing to just have. But I think that's a very pretty neckline.
It's a very beautiful neckline.
I could make this one again.
And I really I love the how this little like wave.
Yeah, that's true.
There's something that's really beautiful about that wave that I love. This was definitely on my list, but I didn't think about the short sleeve one. I was thinking about the long sleeve one.
Yeah.
And then I got distracted.
I wasn't even sure. I think I was originally thinking about it too. So when she even just teased the pictures, there was something about this pattern that I was like, I want that. I couldn't wait until the book came out, and she released the drop when I first I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm buying the ebook right off the bat, because I knew I was going to really like it, and I would make this again. But when I was making this, a couple of things I had, only 2 skeins of this, so I was, which I could now actually, it would have been fine, but I was thinking, I don't know if I have enough for that, and then I got to here, and I just, the shorter sleeves.
Looks so good.
It looks great.
The reason I was asking you about size is because like the like bottom up in the round, then the front and the back in the seam relates to one of my other finished objects, and also like Andrea Mowry's Weekender sweater. It's the same construction. And I remember that when I was knitting that sweater, or like looking at different versions of that sweater, a lot of people talked about how like it was tight in around here.
Yes.
And in one of her podcasts, she talked about the fact that the Weekender was like graded in such a way that there was meant to be a lot of positive ease. And so when you have a lot of positive ease, then this neckline will naturally be like wider. So when I look at yours and I think about like Leila's sample, her sample has a lot more positive ease. And so that's kind of like an adjustment to think about. I don't know.
Maybe.
Again, it might also be that, this is a really good, this is a good photo of her.
Yes.
Or sort of summer version.
Maybe I did
So you
I
see
think
how
I didn't do her sleeves. I think I did what she suggested, now that I think about it.
How her sleeve comes down much, like her sleeve comes down to a shoulder, and of course there's like different shoulder and body sizes.
Right.
But I think that might be one of the things to think about if you're wanting to cast on this pattern like I am, and wanting sort of the fit or the look of yours, just needing to be mindful about the opening, because I have the knit with the same thing.
Yeah.
I'll put that on.
Oh, are you putting that one on? Oh, I thought you were gonna try this. See, look.
Oh yeah, let's do. Hang on, let's do the
I do want to
trade.
try yours. Oh yes.
See, in my head, yours is gonna be so much lighter than mine. Like, but
Lighter?
I like airier, like
This
less
is so light.
temperature-y,
So lovely.
like less hot. What am I trying to say? Less hot.
Well, I think the mohair in it, which I did kind of think about. I was like, I always put this on backwards. I hope I got that one right.
No,
Oh
that's
my
right.
god, I love this. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, see,
Oh my
god, like crop, but actually, I like it this cropped on with this dress.
Cute.
So pretty.
Okay.
It's little like
Next one.
top sleeves. Oh, that's so lovely. I'm sorry. I always bang the table. My legs are a little long.
Hang on. No, I don't know.
Oh, this is beautiful.
This is on inside out.
This is where another podcast would edit, and just suddenly it would be like you would just be given the picture, but not us. We don't edit. We just keep on rolling. Oh, it's so cute. So cute.
All right. It is unrecognizable because my gauge was completely off. However, this is the Nebula sweater by Andrea Mowry.
Is that her new one?
It's her new one.
With the like Surrey or
With the
something?
Surrey, yeah. So
okay.
if you look super closely,
I do see that.
so this was also a bottom up, then split for front and back, and then seamed along the top. So the construction is
Really?
not
Isn't
the
that
same,
funny
but
that we
similar. It's
did
funny that we ended
the
up.
end? Like we haven't done that construction at all.
I know,
Or in a long time, probably.
but like,
Yeah.
right?
Cute.
So this is the Nebula, and
sweet.
I did not intend for it to be so small, but that's how it ended up. One of the things that I loved about it, if you look at the sample, actually, let's show the sample so that you can recognize. Like, to me, this is a completely different top than the top, because gauge matters.
That's funny. Well, and you changed the fabric, so
And I changed the
drastically.
fabric. It's true. Come on, internet, show me. Nope.
Something's going on with the internet.
Again, another podcast would cut to something.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. It would just
So
automatically
this
appear.
it's Andrea Mowry's new design.
Do you want me to try that?
Yes, please. And she knit two versions. She knit a that's what it's supposed to look like.
I mean, it's pretty much the same.
She knit it in two versions. So she has this like sort of short sleeve version and then a pullover version, and she knit it in a DK Surrey alpaca from Farmer's Daughter's Fibers.
one.
Fluffy.
Yes.
And one of the things that she talked about in the pattern, well, so the moment that I saw this, I was like, oh my God, the silhouette. I love the silhouette. I love big. It's dolmany. And one of the things that I really loved about it that maybe you can appreciate is there's a short rows in order to create this like really nice, like long at the back, short at the front situation.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
So one of the things that Andrea talks about is that this pattern is meant to have like a ton of positive ease, like 10 inches of positive ease. And if you look at the various versions by the different testers, like one of the things that I noticed in the comments is like, I really did go with like, I wasn't sure about the positive ease, and I went with like a ton of positive ease, and I really loved it.
Okay.
Right. So I mean, I knew when I cast this on that I wasn't going to be doing 10 inches of positive ease. I find that with, I never really do that. I find that with drop shoulders, I like a drop shoulder pattern. When I knit the Weekender, last year, like the sort of hacked weekender in Surrey alpaca, which is the reason why I didn't do this one in Surrey alpaca, because I was like, I have a Surrey alpaca
that has a
similar construction and shape. But when I did that, I sort of 44 inches, a 44-inch like bust size on a drop is like my magic numbers.
Gotcha.
So I went in and cast on with my lazy swatch the size that I thought was gonna give me 44. Y'all,
it's a similar.
It's not 44. Just in case you're wondering, like my bust size is somewhere between, my actual bust is somewhere between like 37 and 39 depending on the day and the bra. This is evidently not 44 inches.
No.
But what I discovered is that I've suddenly become a tight knitter.
Yeah.
And two, that there was a huge difference in my in the round and flat.
And flat.
So in the round down
you
here,
don't see it.
Don't see it, thankfully. The
That's
black
probably
like
because
hides
of the,
it. But down here, I mean, I didn't swatch. I just sort of like cast it on using the needle size that Carmen used, using the needle size that I used for the white one, and was like, okay, I'm just gonna like see what happens, knit a bunch, and then I'm gonna like check my gauge and see how I am.
That's how I usually do.
So I don't do like the square and then the blocking and so on and so forth. So I'll like cast it on, I'll start knitting. Do I like the fabric? I'll steam block it and then I'll see if I need to make adjustments. So my gauge down here is actually, it's on, my in the round gauge is on gauge, it's 17.
Okay.
But when we got to the flat part, I went from 17 to 22. Wow. What?
It's really
I know. So it's kind of hilarious because the way that the top turned out is like, I do have positive ease down here.
Yes,
because I'm on gauge, but then when you like, you're in the round, then you split for sleeves. And when I split for sleeves, it just like,
that is so
ended up
interesting.
super small.
But it's so cool to me that you can't even tell. Like it reminds me of that, is it Weeble or something? The pattern where it changes, Wervel, where it changes the gauge and you can't tell, but it gets bigger just by changing
like
the gauge.
it's a pattern. Is it in neon and neutrals?
Yeah, I think so.
Neons and neutrals, and the yoke is in like a tiny.
It starts at like
tiny
26 or something, and then you go down to like 12 or something.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
so that the stockinette part of your like yoke sweater is fewer stitches.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank goodness for this yarn and how it just like adjusted itself. And it's, I mean, I'm gonna knit the pattern again because I would like the actual pattern as pictured or close to as
this
pictured.
Is a perfect baby tee. It's like 90s baby tee.
I was like, this is so 90s.
It is, I love it.
90s is my favorite like era of all time. And I was like,
Absolutely.
I've hit the 90s baby tee. This is also something.
You can put a little dress
that
over
goes
top
with
with the little
everything.
like the little spaghetti straps.
And again, the fabric, the like classic color black, like this is gonna be a staple for me.
It's so,
even though it didn't turn out the way that I intended for it to turn out.
Overalls.
Just like, oh, I'm just like, it's the
It's
best
so
little
cute.
crop top.
It's so cute.
There's something about this that I think is like really lovely.
I
wore it with like a silk skirt for like date night, and I was like, it actually is.
It
like
can go either direction.
Translating.
Yeah.
And there's something about the angle of this short row it's thing, which is, I love.
I loved it. What's so funny is this one, it didn't even have short rows to do that, but somehow how I blocked it ended up having the same thing. Like if you go back, it's lower on in my back.
Your
does
back
exactly
doesn't have
that.
boobs.
Yeah, but it was something, anyway, it looked just like this. And so it's funny that it's this same fabric. Oh my God. Yeah. There is a significant difference.
There's a significant difference. So significant. Like this one, I feel like wanted, it bloomed a lot more than this one for me.
Yeah.
It was sort of like, even in the skein, which makes sense because if it's dyed, the fleece has been, processed.
Yes.
That it was sort of like this one was like mid bloom. It was already kind of bloomed when you were knitting with it.
Yes.
And then when I blocked it, it like bloomed even more. Whereas this one, when I was knitting with it, I was really like, oh, like, are we gonna be okay over here? Like at this larger gauge. But then after I blocked it, it poofed, but not as much as this one. Yeah. But this was again a joy to knit.
That must have taken no time.
again, 104 grams. I had to break into the second one. So
did you make it the same distance? Like the body, is it the same
length? Good question. I don't actually know. I mean, okay, so if I wasn't wearing this skirt, maybe it would be easier to see. Like the back is, the short row section is pretty significant. Like you do short rows over here.
Right.
So I don't really, I followed the pattern in terms of how long Andrea Mowry tells you to knit it. And so the other thing that I will say is, like, it is significantly cropped.
This is how she designed it? This cropped? It didn't look like that.
Again, I think it probably is related to the fact that if it wasn't so tight up here, then it would like fall a little bit lower.
Because you're right, it's not, this one it looks about 6 inches, and this one is much more than 6 inches.
Yeah.
But it looks, looking at it, it looks as cropped.
Yeah, I don't actually know. Maybe I'll do a little side by side. But I always find with these like high low, like what are you like? I guess you're measuring the front.
I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, if you can't see, but there are all these like little details that designers put in that I think are really you can't necessarily see, but create a really beautiful shape. So you cast on the ribbing, then you do short rows, which is back and forth, then you're knitting in the round for a bit. But there's also, what's different is that this one is, the stockinette part is just straight down. This one has shaping.
Oh.
So it actually is meant to be dolman-like in the sense that you're doing increases alongside.
Oh.
That creates this like really nice swoop, which would be more evident if there was more positive ease, I think.
Yes.
That you get this like really nice swoop, and then you cast on for the arms, which is something that Andrea Mowry does in her drop shoulder patterns that I think is like beautiful, because you get the drop shoulder without all the extra fabric here.
Yes. I see what you're saying.
So there's a little bit of that shaping. Then
also, just thank goodness for that shaping, because if you were going to 22 and you stayed straight,
I would not have.
It would be like,
it wouldn't have worked at all. There is this beautiful like ribbing along here with this like 3 needle bind off that looks really nice, and then you also pick up stitches here for a crew neck, and there's just these like little details that I think make for a really cute sweater.
Pretty. So it's a bind off, because the other one is a sewn.
This one is a 3 needle bind off. So if you look at some of the other pictures where it's not black, you can see that it creates this really nice seam that I like. There's something about like the ribbing with this seam for me is a very like Andrea Mowry design detail from like
I actually thought it might be a
weekender.
weekender when you first put it on that you just knotted. And you actually need it to be 3 needle bind off, because you really want these to match, like they're going straight into each other.
Similar to you and your eyelet crop though, but because I ended up like knitting up, this is really small, but like what am I gonna, I was like it's gonna work out, and it has worked out. I didn't bind off as many stitches because I knew otherwise it would end up like really super duper tight. And here there's a pickup where you're making a little bit of a crew neck, because you do pick up after you seam, you do pick up all the way around and then knit a little bit of ribbing up. So yeah, I mean, it's tiny and I love it.
It's perfect. It's a perfect little baby tee. I just love it.
It's so 90s.
It's so 90s.
That's like, I was just like, the best. It's like,
oh, so nice.
Yeah.
Just think,
teeny tiny, but I'll have to figure out sizing for the next one. Maybe I was meant to do a fluffy sari one in any case. One of the reasons I chose this though is because I remember again with this, I loved the fabric. I loved how drapey it was and how airy it was. And DK sari, it was like that. It was that drape and that ease. And so I thought, okay, drape and ease.
Yes, but different kind of drape, right?
Different kind of drape and ease.
Yeah, more like a squishy drape.
Yes,
makes sense.
I mean the fabric is completely different, but I feel like the sensation of the fabric is completely different. But at the same time, I feel like the way that the fabric behaves,
it does.
It's like it's open and it's drapey, so that's why I thought I could sub it.
No, I mean I think it's just it's so beautiful.
But apparently, I need to like, I need to gauge swatch, but I'm not gonna do it.
No, you're not. Why?
I just think I know now that when I switch from in the round to flat, I have to like go up needle sizes, which is
maybe
why
just pay
interchangeables are
attention to
wonderful.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think it's wonderful, and maybe you're like getting to the place where this is where I am. I don't ever gauge swatch, almost never, except for test knits. But it's because I actually just feel like it's gonna be it's just gonna work out. It might not be what I'm expecting,
right?
And I'm okay with that. It's actually it's often not what I'm expecting, but it's always something I like.
Yeah.
So,
and I think there's a little bit of like after you've knit a certain number of garments, like there's a certain trust that you have that like garments are gonna work out.
Yeah.
As long as you're not like disastrous. Like I mean this
like
is
that red sweater I had.
Yeah. The red sweater.
That's
the infamous red sweater.
Many episodes ago.
But yes.
Cool.
Baby tee, baby crop tee, summer tee vibes.
Beautiful. Yeah, we're really like giving that's 4.
I know.
4 different patterns.
4 different patterns. All right.
Cool. I do kind of want to try yours on.
Yeah.
But, yes, maybe I'll do that before I get well, actually I can try. When are you putting, because you'll put something else on, right? She's got a million.
I have a million things.
I just love it. It's like, it's just so 90s. Okay. There we go. I also really like the color. I hope that is this coming in? Like, is this particular color coming, I hope?
So. Oh, I don't actually know. I said that.
That is so, look at that.
I mean, it's definitely like I haven't worn it with like shorts just as a top. I wear it as sort of like not a cover up, but like an extra layer with like dresses and rompers, because definitely if I reach for something on the top covered, then yeah. It's like really,
it's getting
really
a little bit
cropped.
but
it's making all my 90s dreams happen.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
They're also so light. Like there is something just so nice about
104
grams.
Pretty. Just that like nitty vibes. I love it.
So, if you're feeling like we just didn't give you enough summer teas or summer thing, got one for you.
Oh my God.
This is the Love Letter tank. This is Kutavakika. Kutavakika, I think she says. Veronika Lindberg. I'll throw this on. I have been talking about this
top
for probably 3 episodes, I think. Because I kept talking about this thing I was knitting in Lena? Sandnes Garden Lena. And how I really didn't love the experience of knitting with it. But I will say it's actually, now that it's been blocked.
It's so cute.
Isn't this so pretty?
It's so cute.
So it's you can see, this is hey, want to knit some lace? Like, I hope so, because if you don't, you're gonna not really enjoy this whole thing.
Gosh.
And I didn't even notice all the hearts.
They're
hearts. Like there's all these little hearts. So what can I say about this pattern? It was very, very fun to knit. I haven't weighed it yet, but it probably took something like more than I expected, like maybe 6
skeins.
Are they called skeins? Balls of the Lena, and I can find the color for you. Pink, like it's obviously a pink. What you do is you start at the top. You're doing a lot flat. I think I did the back first.
So does it seam at the sides? Or no? No, okay.
No, you get into the round, but you get into the round here.
Right.
So you're doing the back first.
Okay.
Then you're doing the front. It's quite similar, except for of course some shaping here. And then you do an I-cord.
So many
bind off after.
Details.
So you like go through the arms and the top. A nice little I-cord around there. And it's one of those, lace for me has a cable sort of feel to it as well, like in terms of it's engaging. It's when you want an engaging knit. and you're working your way through this in particular. So cable, you generally actually will stay pretty much the same cable pattern, the whole thing. Lace, this is always changing, right? So there's all these charts, and so you get to the next chart and you're like, yay, you know? And even at the end, this was one more chart, like from
different charts as you go through.
2 charts. I think this was a chart, and then there's another chart here.
Nice.
And you're just moving your way down. I feel like this might not be the best dress, but I really like the it's slightly racer.
Yeah, the shape of it looks so
I think
good
it's
on
so
you.
pretty with the shoulders, and that was one thing she does a lot. I want to make. She has like a Sailor Swift top, I think, tank, which has a similar kind of a racer, but it's striped. It's just so, it's really pretty.
So fun. It's so pretty.
It is.
I'm surprised actually, because I pulled up the pattern. It's called the Love Letter Top, and the gauge is 20 stitches by 30 stitches. But when I look at it, like,
I don't even know.
I don't know.
Let me see.
I mean, not that you're off gauge, but just when I look at it, it has that kind of like, I think of like coastal, beachy, like crochet vibe.
Yes, that is exactly.
And a little bit sort of like heavier.
Does that make sense? Heavier. It's heavier, yes. And this is definitely not to gauge if it's supposed to be 20.
Okay.
Because this looks like I'm about 16, I'm guessing.
Right, on the right pattern, yeah. But
yeah, and hers, I have more positive ease than what she's got in there. You can see there. I knit the size 2, I think, again.
Did it make a big difference blocking? Like with because I've not worked with that. I mean, I have it in my stash when I thought that I would knit with some of yarns. But did you find that, because the Lena is like, it's like cotton, lyocell.
Is there linen in it? I think there's linen. That might be why it's called linen.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
But did you find that like pre-blocking, post-blocking, there was a big difference?
It was a little wider, but partly that was also because I wasn't sure, you know, with wool and you have lace, you really want to stretch out your lace pattern. Whereas here, like it actually was quite like the lace was pretty obvious to start with.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have a spring back like the wool has, like, you know, so it's trying to like get itself back together. Whereas here it just kind of stayed. So I kind of did this when it was wet. I didn't even know, I probably didn't even have to do a full like wet block. But I did, because that's just what I.
So the composition is 53% cotton, 33% viscose, 14% linen. So I was curious about sort of how it changed.
Yes, and this I literally just finished. So it was blocking last night and I just put it on today. So probably I'm guessing that over time, like over the day, this will start getting longer.
Yeah.
It could get wider. My other linen top is my like ranunculus, and that one is so wide at the top that it just falls off by the end of the day. I just keep sticking to the dryer.
You start with the shirt and then you end up with off the shoulder.
That's total 80s. Like you go like right to flash dance. Like it's like right over all the time. Whereas this one I think will be fine because it has more of a like, it's much more structured and tighter
cotton.
in here.
Oh my god. I have to say that like I feel like lace this reads so contemporary. Like I feel like it reads like really modern, and I feel like the choice to do it in this like really cute, like rosy, almost bubblegummy pink makes it so fun. Because I often I always think of lace in either like I always think like about antique, like white Victorian, or black, like. Yeah. But the color pop is so cute.
It really is cute. And I will say, it's funny because I think she did it, I think one of her versions might be in this pinky color too.
Okay.
But the reason for this is I actually bought this when I was in Copenhagen last year. And there was just like, we went to this yarn store and they were just selling these balls of Lena and for so cheap. And I was like, oh, I'll just pick up a bunch of this color. That was the only color they had. I'm like, well, at some point I'll knit something. And then I saw this. I'm like, I have Lena. I can do this.
To knit it in the sample. So her sample is in off-white. I think it's super beautiful. This has been in my queue forever and ever.
I know. It's really pretty.
I
keep standing up because I'm actually just so like, it's so pretty.
And it's so cute. Again, like I love lace tops on a black backdrop.
Yes, me
like
too.
Because you can really see the lace.
I
although
almost wore a
here you
different
can see
dress that was light today, and then that was I put it on and I was like, oh, you're not gonna like see as much. But
It's so beautiful. It's like leaves and hearts. It's so cute.
thank you.
It's so
I
cute.
really love it.
I know.
I really, really love this.
Influenced. Need it.
Oh, and look at it's just all the details, right?
I
Like, I mean,
know.
why? We don't need that there, but it's so lovely.
There's some, like the proportions of the size of the lace, the different patterns, I just think is just so well done. She has a lace sweater. What is it called? The like salty.
There's so many.
There's so
yes,
many.
yes.
Salty days.
Well, yes, I have it upstairs.
Sweater. That I saw somebody at when we were in Knit City, Toronto, who was wearing it, and I was like, salty day sweater.
Salty days, yeah.
That I was like, this is ridiculously gorgeous.
I literally have bought all these patterns. Like, I just went through when I first discovered her, because she has this cute podcast, I guess, YouTube channel. She's so adorable, and so you just get to watch her, and I'm like, everything she knits, everything. I just really like her style, like the way that she puts things together, and I'm like, yeah, it's all just gonna be good.
This is
So pretty. I just like a lace project sometimes.
It's funny that salty day sweater. And again, so the reason I bring it up is because I feel like she, in terms of like the proportions of like the size of lace and like, I just think she has it
Bang on.
bang on.
I agree. I have to still, my next one is the Pride and Pearls.
Oh gosh.
Cardigan. I have the wool. I've got the
Stunning.
pattern all printed.
Stunning.
I feel like I can start on that one.
Gosh.
Right?
So
Do you want to try it?
I absolutely want to try it.
And this one is cool. Like, so when I put these ones on are gonna warm you up. This one's gonna like,
Really
it doesn't,
breezy.
yeah, it's just nice and breezy. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Oh, I just noticed your, yes. Do you want to do this now or do you want to do that? Well,
wanna
you
try
just
that.
have to do your thing. Man, knitting, right? We're so lucky to know how to do this. And it's, people often are like, oh my gosh, like you're so good at knitting. And I'm like, but knitting's not hard. Oh, Jackie, look at how beautiful that is.
Adore.
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 It's so pretty.
It's so pretty. And there's something about, like, for me, it's really beautiful, the neckline for me. There's
Yes.
something about the neckline that I think just works.
I do. I
Again,
agree.
like, so I'm wearing like a nude undergarment. Oh my
It's
God.
so pretty. And you can see how it comes in, right? Like,
Yes,
that's
like
the
there's
racer
that,
back a bit.
the racer back, but like in the front,
And the front
it just
too,
fits
just like it's
so
nice for
nicely.
the shoulders.
And again, like the whole is the lace right over your bust. There's a section where, like, this is what I mean about like proportions and how it like looks.
Totally.
It's these thoughtful details.
I just remembered I did make a mod.
Oh, you did?
In that, yeah. And actually, it was when I was looking on Ravelry, the person made a point about it, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. In right here, there's a bobble right in each of these hearts. And then down here, there's bobbles that go in each of these hearts.
Okay.
So like maybe 5 of them.
Yeah.
And the person was like, she was talking about here, and she's like, I just don't know why if I would want bobbles right there. And I was like, that's not interesting.
Yeah.
I never noticed it on hers, like that there was anything wrong with it, but yeah, so I just took the bobbles out completely.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it. I love this top. I'm gonna be
love
living in
this
this top.
top.
I'm so glad. I'm so happy to have finished it. And it's been sitting there, like, it's one that I would just pick up here and there, and then I'd be distracted by other projects, but it's like finally now done and I'm gonna wear it.
And I will say that like the weight, there's something about the weight of it that's really lovely. Like it's cool, but it's not like, it's heavier than you think, but like in a nice way, like weighted blanket kind of vibes.
I was just thinking that, like, when you're sleeping at night in the summer and you want to have something on you, but you don't want it to be warm. It's like that.
Oh my God. I want to knit this. I have Lena, but I don't think I have enough. But I'm like doing this because I'm like, I could knit it. I could knit like a little crop.
You could just not do the last
repeat, even though I love little hearts.
Or you change the maybe you just change. It does get wider. You cast on some stitches somewhere here, like maybe here.
Oh, there's like it's like an A-line shape.
Yeah, just slightly.
Just slightly.
Yeah, I think you only cast on four stitches.
It's
maybe
so
only
cute.
2. It's really cute.
It's so
I like that
cute.
color too. Like it's really,
Thank you.
it's pretty.
I don't know what, like, I feel like it's the perfect blushy pink. Like, I noticed when you put it on your cheeks, like, got rosy.
It's really.
I feel like it's a really nice pink, and it's not too, like, saccharine sweet pink.
Absolutely.
Really nice.
And it's a cool undertone to me. It doesn't feel warm.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
No way. This one I need to enjoy it. It's been sitting there forever. And you know, and also when you try on a new, or you're knitting with a new yarn, there's also that piece of like, how is this? Like, I don't know what it's going to do. It's not Nutiden where we know exactly what's going to happen. And now Sonder, we've done so many that we're like, we get that.
Yeah, you understand how to adjust for fabric, but this is.
So
I mean, you didn't. It's one of those things. So I feel like this, I could product in it, like knowing that, because I have that in stash, and I swatched for another top, and I really didn't love working with it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel nice on the hands.
It doesn't feel super nice, but I do think the idea of like just having something that you're just doing like little bits at a time, like sort of one chart at a time, and the finished product, like this would not be the same without your like summer fiber. What I love about it is the weightiness and the lace, and I think there's something about the thickness of it, maybe.
Yeah, because it's a DK.
That holds the lace and creates a certain look that I think you don't get, you know, with a like fingering weight fabric.
Completely.
You know?
And if wool was in there, it would just have a different feel to it. And it's true, it's that like beachy boho
love it.
Crochet macrame kind of
love
like,
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it too.
Well, I thought I was gonna be done with summer tops, but apparently not.
That one, I mean, I don't think it took a long time, but it did take longer than you think. And like, and even just doing the I-cord, right? Like, so you're finished and you put this on and actually you don't even need the I-cord because it's actually finished enough. It doesn't look that bad. And I'm like, do the I-cord. And then I'm glad I did. Looks good. Thank you. Okay. All right. Now, are you going to dye in the sweater you're putting on?
You know what's really, I mean, really, this is forever, fascinating to me that where's the back? No, it doesn't really matter actually. Oh no, I don't remember what number this is. Carmen,
28.
do you know what this? Oh, thank God.
Thank good. Sometimes I'm good for something.
You're good for lots of things.
Not memory now.
So this is my finished sweater number 28.
Absolutely.
Which I knit in Nutiden, single strand. The colorway was 2 negatives equals 1 positive, held with 1 strand of mohair from Fireweed Fibre Co. I showed this in a previous episode.
It's gorgeous.
And I loved it. I cast on, you will have seen my first version, which was knit in Sonder Yarn in this like off-white plus catnap version. And I really, really wanted a dark one.
It's perfect.
And I remember I cast this on during eclipse season. I cast them both on thinking like, because I wanted to have like eclipse sweaters, but of course eclipse season is not that long and I couldn't finish the 2. So this was one of the like whips that has been like sitting in the corner. Right. I love everything about it. I love this pattern. It's so engaging. It creates such a nice fabric. This is one of my favorite. I will say that like this blend is one of my favorite blends to come out of like Nutiden, the recent ones. I mean, I think it's actually a year old. I feel like it was from like maybe from last summer. But it was one of the ones that was like higher in Rhea and Gotland and like super drapey. And so I loved everything about it. But again, I can't, you know, the thing with whips is like, I don't really understand how they end up in their like whip corner, their like sad whip corner.
They just get pushed out
They
by
just
the
get
new.
pushed out.
Yeah.
I think because like eclipse season was over, I felt like the momentum of the
call
sweater.
It eclipse season is it like?
Yeah, there's like a period of time. Well, yes.
Like there's gonna be lots of eclipses.
There were 3 eclipses in a row.
Oh, okay.
In like a relatively.
That's true.
I mean, it comes around annually, but
it does.
that particular eclipse, there was a confirmation of eclipses that for me felt significant, like astrologically, and I was able. We were in Hawaii at the time, and I had this experience of going up, like really high up in altitude on one of their like sacred mountains.
Aww.
And having the experience of like standing, and on this side the sun was setting and on this side the moon was rising. It was like incredible.
My gosh.
So I was like, oh, I need, like, it was eclipse sweater and I was wearing that one and knitting on this one. So there was all this like symbology for me. And then eclipse season was done and I feel like the momentum of it like disappeared.
Yeah.
But in the WIP-down, I was like, why? Why did I put this away? Maybe because it's 30 degrees outside. But the fabric that this made,
it's so
with this like drapey, the color.
The color is like, it's. I think it's coming across fairly well on here, but it's actually even more like
rich.
Rich is the word. I want to eat it.
Me too.
It's like chocolate.
It was like there's like a it's actually I didn't have the mohair skein. Couldn't find it, but it's the mohair was from Fireweed Fibre Co, and it's called dark chocolate.
Oh, wow, that's appropriate.
I bought one skein and then I bought another one. I bought one skein, I looked at it, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, I need this in a garments quality, so I bought another skein. So if you look kind of closely, you'll see that there's actually two. Like I didn't alternate skeins. Like there was one, you can't see? No. I feel like I can see it.
I really can't see
So the
it.
arms are in a different skein and like somewhere around here it switches to a different one. Really so there's like a really, I feel like it gets more purple at the edges. But.
Okay, maybe.
Do you see?
Okay, here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then here also like there's like this little
it looks
fadey,
like a dip dye though.
A dip dye,
it's
which
beautiful.
unintentional, but I love.
Yes, I love that. So how far had you gotten in this WIP when it got moved out? Like how much more did you have to do?
So I was about here, and I'd done
sleeves.
one like part of one of the sleeves. But because I realized that there was a huge difference in dye lots, like I didn't really realize how huge the difference was in the skeins.
Yeah.
And then when I started knitting the arm, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is a huge difference. So I kind of stalled out also because I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Am I gonna be bothered by like, is there going to be a giant line? And so I kind of was like, oh, now I have to think about it.
So when in doubt, just put it away.
Yeah. But this pattern is like, I think we talked about it last time. It's such a fun pattern.
It's such a great pattern.
And I feel like
I know where you are
at
all times. You can just pick it up.
Pick it up, put it down.
Like a 10, this one's a 10 row.
Row, yeah.
Repeat.
Like 5 and 5.
Yeah.
Lots of ribbing, which I love.
I hate ribbing. Like, so this was somebody asking, me, like, why would you make this sweater when you hate ribbing? But it's because you're only doing 5 rows of ribbing around
at a time.
Ribbing, and then you're just doing garter.
Yeah, and again, you cast on in the round, then you split for front, and you're in the round for a while.
Yes.
Then you split for front and back.
Yes.
And then you join it in the round again. And so again, there's these like little landmarks. There's this like cadence where I feel like by the time, one of the things about the sweater is like by the time I'm done with ribbing, you're into garter. And then by the time you're done with knitting and purling, then you're back to ribbing. And so it just sort of has this back and forth, and that's why, you know, for me it was like the eclipse sweater, because it's like like you're kind of going back and forth all the time. But
so symbolic.
this ended up being 220 grams, so it's super light. And because this is, I mean, I brought the Nutiden held single in a quite airy, drapey, like not so poofy, like plumpy. There's just something about this that feels amazing. Like I mean, I tend to run cold. Right. But for some reason I'm not dying in this.
No, it's really lovely.
So
it's really lovely.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful.
I'm so aware when we sort of come on and we're like, okay, how many finished objects? I'm like, are you ready to see the same sweater again?
But they always look different. Like you always change it up a little bit. You do something a little bit different. I don't know. It's awesome.
This is definitely like a I love Nutiden plus mohair situation. It's not something that I do often. I use Nutiden solo, but this is one where I feel like the addition of mohair and a way to introduce variegation without getting like a big variegated like look. I do think the variegation in the mohair is part of what makes it part of what I love so much in terms of how it ended up looking. So.
But Nutiden is also very good too in its own unique way. You can see that it has lots and lots of different colors.
Yeah.
But never in a way that has any kind of like pooling. It just
it doesn't look. It's more. I would say it's more like heathered, right? No, you think it's variegated?
Well, I don't know. It has colors like literally like
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't describe it until you hold it. Like, there's no way it's going to really come across there, but like, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
We really love that.
We really love that yarn. So number 28. Nutiden single stranded with mohair. My gosh.
It's going to be that's perfect in the fall and winter. Perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like I might have to have this.
Do you want to try it on?
Yes,
Are you going to like
always
evaporate?
I'll put it on briefly and then touch it and take off.
I want you to feel the fabric though.
Yeah. Oh, it's just so light.
There's something really like, you know, it's 220 grams. Like it's so light and floofy.
I didn't take off my little thing underneath it, but look at these
Short arms.
They were perfect on you.
Yeah.
They were perfect length.
I mean, I love to knit things twice, and what I will say is I feel like the second time it's always like there's this the perfect balance between being really relaxing because you kind of like I know how it's going to turn out, right? Like I have a sample, I have the first version and I know what I like and don't like about it. And you understand how to do the pattern, so it's like really relaxing. But generally speaking, if I'm knitting a second one, it's because there's something that I'm doing different,
a little different,
that I really like, and so there's like the excitement of being like, oh, like I'm getting to see the new version come to life, but at the same time, there's the comfort of like not being worried, like, is this too small? And because I didn't swatch, am I not going to be able to actually wear it?
Nope.
It's like,
you know, it's going to work out.
It's going to work out.
Yeah. I love it. Very, very nice.
So I said that I have a glut of finished objects because this is one of the WIPs that was going to come into the WIP-down, and when I looked at it and I was like, what are you doing? Just finish it. It's so incredibly lovely. And it was like a nice contrast to all of the like summer knits to have like Nutiden and mohair, like it was a nice like comfy cozy situation. So I have 2 shawls. 2 more shawls.
Let's see. I love it.
Okay.
Oh my
Again,
God,
if you've been watching the podcast for a while, you might remember this piece, which might be my favorite shawl I've ever knit.
I think it is really, really beautiful.
So this is the Cinnabar shawl by Andrea Mowry. And I knit it in a single strand of Nutiden. That's the purple in the colorway Vagabond. And the contrast color is Handspun. So the Handspun is from Akara Rose. It is a cheviot base. And the colorway is Thistle, which is like the best. And I spun it as a 2-ply. So I don't know. I mean, I think when I first became a spinner, there are certain sheep breeds that like everyone spins Corriedale and everyone spins like Polworth and Merino and BFL. They're sort of like your classic starters. Yeah. And ones that I feel like I see a lot and hear a lot about and people die on, like just your common things. I love cheviot. Cheviot is like, it's like I guess it's a medium wool. It's a medium wool. It's definitely like has a higher micron count. But I love the spin experience of this. And I also feel like, I mean, I've knit with Nutiden plus Handspun before, and Nutiden plus Handspun makes some of my favorite like fabric. Yes. But I feel like this is the perfect breed to spin to go with Nutiden. There's something about the cheviot and the Nutiden fabric that it just they like
with each other.
Are a perfect marriage.
Did you, when you were spinning it, did you keep colors together? Did you like in terms of plying, like spinning it so that you would ply colors?
I think I did it as I think I did sort of do it as a fractal. Did I do it as a fractal? Yeah, I think I had 2 braids. I split the braid. I did like a half and a quarter and an eighth, if that makes sense for those of you who are spinners.
Right. So you didn't try to keep like the pinks together or the green, because it seems
No.
like they really ended up like there's large
I mean,
pieces
that's-
where it's just the pink,
That's
right? Like it's
Rosa's
just how it
dye
is.
style, I think. Just
So
worked out that way.
pretty.
And
Look at how
some
long
of you
that
might
pink is.
remember is that I actually started wanting to knit a sheep camp
Yes.
sweater. So this is another one of the abandoned WIPs. This is supposed to be a sheep camp sweater, but this is when I discovered that the like color repeats in here, the contrast, my choice of contrast color, it just didn't come out the way that I expected it to come out. And although now that I'm looking, I still think it's beautiful.
It's still beautiful.
It's not the sheep, like it doesn't look like the sheep camp sweater, but it's still gorgeous.
No, it feels like a Morse code to me, like somehow.
Oh yeah. But I don't really know how that happened. Oh right, okay. So this braid to me reminded me of the goddess Green Tara.
Oh yeah.
Those are the colors. And so I spun it and loved the spinning experience and was wanting to work with that goddess energy. And so I wanted it in a sweater. And the idea was that Green Tara, one of the myths around her is that she's very much a goddess of like healing. And so I liked the idea of it having it being the contrast color for gray, because it was kind of the symbolism of how she comes when you have like a stormy time.
Aww.
So that was the idea of this. I still really love it. But then I think Nutiden basically arrived, and the moment that I saw the purple, there was this moment where like, you know, I had like pulled out all the like lobes and I was looking at it and I was just like, these need to go together. Like, so it's maybe like, I feel like one of the most satisfying color combinations. This pattern is so fun to knit.
Is it
again?
Brioche, is it?
It's yeah. So it is brioche, and then it has a name but I can't remember. Basically, it's garter. So there's wait, I don't even know where the top is anymore. You do you do a garter tab cast on, and then it's kind of like there's two sections. There's the section where it's like all knits and purls with some increases, and this section is brioche. So you're going back and forth like this. And there's something about, I think, I love the way that this side looks, like the interrupted garter might be what it's called. It just creates this like beautiful woven fabric. It also like feels really nice.
Yeah.
And this is where I was like, okay, like cheviot. I know there's no cheviot I don't think there was cheviot in Nutiden. I don't think that's a heritage Swedish breed.
No,
but
definitely
it's here in the fabric that I was like, oh my gosh, they're totally made to go together.
Yes.
So you have this section where you're doing like knits and purls, and then you do the brioche. And what I realized as I was looking at as I was prepping for WIP-downs, is that what I abandon more than any other sort of thing is I abandon shawls
at the end,
because they just get too long.
Yeah.
So this one I had probably knit out until like here. Before I like left it.
And that would have been the beginning, or like none of this was done, or
I did. I was up to about here.
So
like
I
I
do it. Okay, gotcha. It's
and
like
my guess is that this is about the time that the stitch count started to get really long.
Yeah.
Right? But what's great about this one, I feel like that helped with the momentum, is that you're sort of doing one thing and then you switch to another thing, right? And so it makes the long rows not seem as long.
And it's so worth it in the end. Look how gorgeous it is.
I believe that this shawl might be one of those patterns that shows off handspun, that has a lot of these like color, where you have a lot of color variegations, or the color changes are like quick.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is one of the shawls that I think just shows off the handspun so beautifully, because you get to see it in one version in this like interrupted garter, and then you get to see it in the brioche.
Yes.
And what I love is that, you know, both sides are beautiful.
They are.
Like the front and back.
They
I don't know which one I love more.
It's lovely. It's lovely.
And again, it's like one of those things that I don't know if I just got, I wasn't needing the energy of it, or I was sort of like got all of the happiness out of it and then I put it away. But when I picked it up and And I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I hadn't knit with my handspun in a while. I was like, let me just try and do the thing that I did with my twig sweater, where I was like, listen, like, I feel like in many ways, our brains get ahead of an experience. And so like, I think I was looking at it thinking like, oh my gosh, there's so many rows, and I wasn't feeling like inspired to work on it. But I was like, just 10 minutes. And 10 minutes turned into project monogamy, in which I
really
knit this.
couldn't let it go.
I couldn't let it go.
Aww.
Because I was like, I'd forgotten how much I love knitting with my own handspun. There's something special about it.
Yeah.
And I think probably I put it down because I had already gotten the satisfaction of seeing that the colors like worked out, right? So I get to a place where I'm like, it's almost like the object is that creative phase of the project is done, because you're like, I see how it worked out and it's beautiful, and now there's just like hundreds of stitches.
That's just the stockinette part of a sweater, right?
Yeah.
Where you're like,
but I'm actually so glad that it sort of like went in the WIP pile and then it got like unearthed, because it was like
reignited.
It was like I had the second sweater situation again,
Aww.
where I was like, I know how it's gonna work out. It's really great. What I will say about this shawl is that I don't know how to wear this one.
Well, you know,
the
I can't
shape
help.
on this one is like, I don't know. So mods. Did I make any mods? I did one less repeat than in the pattern, because I felt like it was already big enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like depth-wise was getting quite deep for me. I knit this on a US 2, which is a lot smaller than what's in the pattern.
Jeez.
The weight of this, 222 grams. And this was shocking. 84 grams of that is Nutiden, and the rest of it is handspun, which just like, again, in my head, unspun versus spun, like that was just such a remarkable number to me, that especially because the Nutiden is the main color. So in the pattern, I think it's like 800 yards of the main color and then 600 yards of the contrast color.
Yes.
But like the way that the weights worked out, it was like 84 grams of this is Nutiden and the rest of it is the handspun.
It's crazy. But it is absolutely, because it just goes forever.
Yeah,
It's not
the
like
unspun
spun
is not
up.
as
It's
dense.
just, exactly.
Which creates just this like super lovely shawl.
This is so pretty.
Thank you. So it's it's an asymmetrical triangle in terms of its shape. You're increasing more on the brioche side than on the garter side, so you end up with this asymmetry. I mean, I think it looks really beautiful this way.
Me too. That's how I would wear
it's
it.
asymmetric, like there's a little bit of asymmetry there, but you know how I normally like to do this?
Yes.
It kind of works. But the where the triangle is in the back is kind of straight. I don't know.
And will it stay?
And it won't stay.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is one where I will need to get a shawl pin, or I was thinking about one of the little like wrappy ones.
Yep.
You know?
Totally.
It doesn't really like to stay while it's moving, so it does need something.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the front, I can't figure out how to wear it as a triangular shawl. Because this
How does
side
Andrea Mowry do it?
That is a good question. I mean, I guess that works. But there's some, like what I will say is that it's like a different kind of triangle that I haven't quite sorted out yet.
Do you think it maybe needed it to be a little longer? Like maybe it needed that last repeat?
I mean, the wingspan is huge. Like I feel like
it's holding. Yeah, I don't
you know, I feel like it's it is a triangle shawl that if I were to wear it as a triangle, I feel like, gosh, there's a lot of fabric.
That's true.
Like there's like the too much fabric kind of phenomenon. It is really pretty though.
It's so gorgeous.
I just can't get it to stay. I will say that like I haven't figured out a way of wrapping it so that it stays on without assistance.
You need a prop.
Like I need something.
Yeah,
like
something that's
here
gonna
I was thinking like,
that's
you know,
really
that's
pretty.
where the piece is, but I love it.
I love it too. I
feel like this might be one of my like peak color combination like moments where the colors really just play super well with each other in a way that I think is, I mean, I guess it's not like purple and pink is not that, purple and pink and gray is not that an uncommon a color combination, but there's something about the tones of it that I think just played super well together.
It does. It absolutely does. And then that thistle is just so perfect.
Oh, the thistle is just, I have one more braid. I love it
I
so
have
much.
3 braids.
I know.
At least.
I mean, that color combination that Rose put together was one that I didn't even buy the first time around. You bought it, and then I just kept looking at it in your stash, and I was like, I need it.
I like how it's different.
Yeah, I do like that. Again, I like that asymmetry.
Yeah.
Like there, but I do think like a shawl pin. Yeah. This one feels like normally I've knit all those shawls. I never use a pin, but this is one where I feel like the pin is really nice. Might be a nice one. You did it. You're like unconvinced.
I can never do it.
It's very long.
It is.
There's a lot of fabric.
But it's
it's definitely like I think because I didn't do the last repeat, mine is smaller than Andrea's and a lot of the other projects. But I like my shawl to not go past my bum.
Right.
So.
Just aesthetically or practically, like
both.
When you're sitting on.
Both. And I think I always think, like I would say like in the winter when it's really cold, when it is like cold and I want like tons of cozy, I will wear it with the triangle in front, right? And so because I'm like 5'2", if I let the triangle get too deep, then I actually feel like it doesn't look right for me to wear it the front way. It's like I have a beard, like my shawl beard that goes to my knees, like like it just.
I was picturing the things you wear at a haircut where you put them like they drape you this direction.
So that's why I stopped.
It's really nice,
but that looks so good on you.
It's like you get to appreciate, like it's just really pretty. Really pretty.
Yeah, it's one where I feel like often with color work, you're like, I feel like I'm making a choice in color work to like make the contrast color pop, or you're like making a choice to make the pattern pop, like you put one thing is like center stage and the other thing is like a support character, whereas I feel like here they're really equal.
They are.
Like I made the choice to want to bring the handspun forward, but I think in the end they're equal.
Yeah, I agree. So nice.
That color looks so good on you.
I should really spin. I couldn't even join Tour de Fleece this year. I was like, I can't do it. I know I'm not going to get to do it. There's too many things.
Yeah, it's a busy season for you.
Yeah, I'm a golfer, so that the summer is.
Golf takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time. Yeah, because I have to drive about 40 minutes to get there. Then you have to get ready. Then you have to warm up. Then your game is 4 hours, 4.5.
Yeah,
and then you're like hanging out.
Yeah,
so it's like an entire day.
For those of you who don't know, Tour de Fleece is it is like I'm doing TDF. For me, it's become like a bit of a ritual. This is my quiet season. You're basically spinning along. You're spinning for the length of the Tour de France. I don't know how it actually got started, but you can sort of. What I love about it is that you can join sort of like teams, and different teams have goals, and it basically is like Spinspiration times a million, because you're seeing everybody sort of spinning.
True. That is fun.
But what I will say is that I'm spinning with the Stash Dashers, which is hosted by our friend Melly of Melly Knits, and it's really lovely actually this year. It so happens that the little group that I'm in, like the group chat that I'm in, and just in general, it doesn't seem to be so production focused. Like I think last year I was really like, it was my first Tour de Fleece. I was like getting my spinning feet underneath me. I was trying a bunch of things. There was a lot of like production happening. And I feel like for myself and a lot of people who are doing the Stash Dashers this year, like people are spinning for like 3 minutes a day, like 4 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day. I think it just,
I feel like I could do that.
Yeah. Right. I think, but it's interesting, right? In terms of how we are influenced by the seasons and also like influenced by other people, because I think last year there was a lot of like, I was a fairly new spinner and I was seeing what people were doing, and there was this like, oh my god, I want to try that too, I need to try that too, and then the production like ended up being really high, whereas I'm just a lot more laid back around it this year. And for whatever reason, I don't know, it's kind of like our thing with Knit City is that like there's something about it being Tour de Fleece and being able to watch lots of people spin and see all the amazing stuff that's coming out,
and
that somehow
vicarious.
it was like vicarious joy. Like somehow it's inspiring me, but not in a way that I was like, I need to be doing it as well.
Yes. Yep. That makes sense.
And I don't know if that's I was having a conversation with somebody where they were like, do you think it's just because like, you know, you're at a different stage of your making now that things are not, there's not that much newness, you know, that when you're like at the beginning of something, there's that like sort of like new energy, like urgency.
Yeah. I wonder.
But
I don't know. Like, it's so funny because there is newness in everything, right?
Yeah.
And familiarity now too. So yeah, that's an interesting idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting you brought up Knit City, like that big, because I think that vicarious feeling, it was so interesting for us. I keep saying interesting, but it was a cool experience to notice that we didn't need
to make
because we were literally feeling like we were already part of that making. And I'm reflecting now that I'm not feeling the same urgency when I see your beautiful knits, that I need to knit it.
Yeah.
It's almost like, no, I just knit it. Like you did it.
Yeah.
But I just knit it somehow.
I think what I realize is, which I think does relate a little bit to like beginner energy, is that it's like wanting to see the idea come into form.
Yes.
Is like, I think, our favorite part.
Yes.
It's like the genesis of the idea and the witnessing of something that is like, I think this is gonna go well together, and it does go well together, or like it. I feel like that's our favorite part. I feel like that's always been our favorite part.
Yeah.
Of the process, and so if that's your favorite part of sort of like seeing like nothing come into something.
Yes.
Then if you've already witnessed, you've already seen the potential, the creative potential has already been like manifested.
Yes, I've already done it. Seen it, experienced what I want to experience. It just wasn't my hands making it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe that's why we watch shows like these, like reality shows about cake making. Like I'm not going to be eating the cake. But I really like watching that. Like and being like, wow.
Right. And I think you and I have a similar bias in terms of like, if you think about like the creative process or like making in general.
Yes.
It's that first spark of becoming that I think really gets both of us excited.
It does. It's interesting because you keep saying favorite, and I'm like, is it my favorite? It's definitely one of the favorites.
Right.
Then there's the casting off. That's also really like that time when you're finishing and you're just almost there. It's like it's right before the dopamine. It's the dopamine, right? Because it's right before the actual thing, and you're like and then you have the experience of it being done. Yeah. And then putting it on. Like this is bringing me so much joy, seeing this on me. So I'm going to enjoy every single time I pull this on. Right. So yeah, I agree.
It's like
there's the doldrums in the middle that I like. Yeah.
It's like that transition stage that.
Yes. It's the next.
It's the next thing.
Yeah. Whereas like so you cast on and there's all of that and and you put it together and then you have the yoke and wow and then there's the stockinette in a sweater body. And then there's the casting off. Yeah. And then there's the blocking. That's exciting to me too. Yeah. Maybe because I don't know what's going to happen because I haven't swatched and I don't know what I'm doing in terms of blocking. I like literally just sometimes I stretch it, sometimes I don't stretch it. What do I do?
Also, blocking is like for me again, there's this like alchemical transformation process in which you're like it's going to be something different.
Yes. And you don't know exactly what it is, but there's again that trust where it's like it's going to be something great. Yeah. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah. It's fun. What's your favorite part of the process? Do you have a favorite part of the process?
What parts do you like?
What parts do you love?
hate? Yeah. Because we do hate parts, don't we? Like we love knitting, but I don't think I hate. Maybe that's hard. Maybe that's a harsh word to use, but there are definitely parts where I'm like, I
think that there are parts that involve more like willpower.
Yes.
And I think for me, there's also like mental blocks that I have to get over. Like, for example, like picking up for sleeves or like picking up for a collar.
Scared.
I'm always just like, my brain makes it out to be a much worse process than it is. And so then I stall out because I'm like, I don't want to do the thing. But when I actually do the thing, it's not nearly as bad as I think it's going to be.
In fact, okay, that's funny you bring this one up because here you have to pick up all of these stitches, right?
Yeah.
But the way I picked it up, this one I don't like when you have to do like 2 out of 3.
Right,
out of
because
4,
there's just,
you're like,
I don't know if it's
am
going
I?
to work out. And
This
plus
was-
you're all like counting.
Exactly. This was
Don't like
exactly every one. And there was something,
nice.
I just found the one, the one row. So
Right.
basically here, like
It's a nice pickup
that
experience.
isn't part of the I cord.
Okay.
So this is the I cord and this is
Right.
the pickup. So it becomes this like really beautiful, like it's perfect. And I just kept going, doink, look, point through, doink, and through. And it was just feeling so nice.
It's like how you also, what's the other thing this reminds me of that you love? A mattress stitch.
I do love a mattress.
I don't love mattress stitch.
Zoop. And you just go, one.
Yeah.
Oh, I do love that.
But you know what, actually, you're totally right. It's the pickups that you have to be like, did I just do 2 or 3?
Yes.
Is that 3 or 4?
And is this one or is this one? Sometimes it looks
Yeah.
like it's a stitch, but it's not. Do you count that one?
Yeah. Picking up, what are the not favorite parts? I actually love a stockinette section.
Yeah, I know you.
I do love a stockinette section.
Sometimes
but
I like it. It just is too long. I have a longer body. Maybe that's part of it. Like, 'cause it's not the beginning of it. It's not even the first 4 inches. It's
Right.
like the next.
There's
4
a certain
inches.
point at which you
6
need something
inches.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ribbing, I also don't love, but that I don't get stressed. I just don't really want to do the ribbing.
I think ribbing is one that is a mental block for me, where I think I don't like ribbing, but in actual fact, if I look at a lot of things that I knit this year, I've knit a lot of must stitch, and I've knit like a lot of the like 1x1 and like 1x1 hats. I feel like this is the year that I think I don't like ribbing, but I actually really enjoy the cadence of ribbing.
Yeah, okay, that's the piece, because I'm like, I know I like the look of it, but I love a moss stitch. To me, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
But do I enjoy the like back and forth? Not really. But maybe
you
it's
knit
how
English
I knit because
also. I knit continental. I don't mind ribbing as much. Yeah. What I discovered when I cast this off, I was like, I love brioche. I didn't know I loved brioche. I like missed the brioche so much. And like I feel like brioche is one of those stitches that so many knitters talk about it being meditative.
It is. Yeah.
But it just didn't, I don't know, like brioche and me did not have like click
gel
until the second half of this shawl.
Aww.
And then when the brioche was done, I was like, all I want to do is knit brioche.
Aww.
So I did.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay, last one.
I was gonna say, so my
Last
kids
one.
watched this we're watching this math show. I'm forgetting the name of it. It's on like a PBS. Anyway, there's a character on it and she's the doctor and she goes, "What's next?" And it's like, that's what I feel like I'm saying right here. Gorgeous. I remember this one.
You remember this one?
Yes, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
What?
This is brand new.
What?
This one's brand
Did
new.
you have something like that? I remember being in that room. I'm gonna have to go back to the that episode because I feel like there was something that you had that was goldy and had this like mossy look. Anyway.
So
Whatever,
this is the most luxurious thing I have ever knit in my entire life, even more than that cashmere.
Whoa! What is this?
Right.
What is this?
Right. Okay. Everybody needs to knit something like this.
Oh.
I just like
It's going all over me. I'm gonna bathe in this.
right.
What
I'm
is
just like
this?
I'm like the best way to wear this shawl is naked.
Yeah. I want it all over the body. Oh my god. Like I actually am like, this is honest. Like I don't know what's happening. What is happening?
Okay, so everybody needs to knit a brioche shawl where one of your colors is mohair held double. Specifically Sonder Yarn
This is
Halo. This is okay, I'll leave you for sensory pleasure for a while.
Oh my god. I've done so much. Okay, no, I'm dying. I'm sorry. What is going on here?
It is the most delicious thing I've ever knit in my entire life. Like ever in my entire life.
I cannot
It
stop.
is just, to me, I'm like, this is like
You're not getting it back. I'm sorry. No. Even if it ends our friendship, worth
like,
it.
It is like sex in a shawl.
It's
it's I don't know, like it feels almost too good.
Sexual.
Like exactly. I'm like, I need to.
Oh my
it's
God,
like
I think I'm
need to
salivating.
like it's like the thing that I'm like, excuse me, I need to go be alone and naked in a room with my
100%.
shawl.
But also somebody has to hug me and get the other side of this. Like, you know, it's like this has to be shared.
So I knit it. I was knitting it and I was like, is it this good? Like every single moan of knitting it, I was just like, it's like, This is one of those moments where I really actually wish that there was like touch mode in YouTube.
You need it. You can't understand. I'm like blown away.
Okay, so there's a couple things. So this is the pattern is the Diatom shawl
So beautiful.
by Camille Descoteaux.
Oh yeah.
It is, I'll show you the sample. Beautiful shawl.
Yes.
So it's a 2-color brioche. And it is, I mean, mine turned out very triangular, but part of the reason I picked the shawl was because when I looked at it, again, it looks like, is this a good picture? Like it is a triangular shawl, but it has a little wider wingspan. So I like a long one. And one of the things that was lovely about it is that in the pattern, it's 372 yards for both the main color and the contrast color. And the sample was knit in a sport or a DK weight. So you don't need like your yardage. It's not that much yardage. When I think about brioche, because brioche like eats, right? So the shawl is knit out of Handspun and Sonder Yarn Co mohair.
What was the fiber?
So the fiber, the Handspun, is like a super precious bat that I got from Artifacts of Appreciation, Lindsay of Artifacts of Appreciation. The bat was mostly Haunui, a ton of silk, a little dusting of cashmere, a little dusting of Shetland, a little dusting of BFL.
It's the Shetland.
It's the Shetland.
I love Shetland.
It's and what's funny is that like for those of you who are spinners, Haunui is my like desert island.
I've never spun it.
And I didn't like Haunui. I feel like is again one of the ones that isn't super popular, but there are tons of stock. So Haunui is a breed from New Zealand. Oh God, did I get that right?
That's right.
And for whatever reason, I don't know like which one of our amazing like Canadian fiber mavens brought it to Canada, but like there are a ton of Canadians working with it. Like Melly Knits works with it. I'll link below Akara Yarn, Akara Rose, Melanie Allaire, Megan of Bramblebridge. Like there's more Haunui in Canada than one would expect. But I do believe that because, you know, our Canadian fiber community is really like close and tight. Anyhow,
Yes.
I believe it's the Haunui plus the silk.
I felt like there was silk in here.
So luscious. As the Handspun, and because I had basically 150 grams of like it was a bat with a braid of BFL, which is also blowing my mind because I love BFL, but I don't think of BFL as being like so super luscious. But it's a 2-ply, and 1-ply is Haunui, is that like Haunui silk, and then the other ply is BFL. But it was BFL that that was dyed by West Coast Color, and I've heard that Lynn just treats the fiber really nicely. So it was a BFL, it was like a little matchy bat and braid situation, except Lindsay put the braid through her carder. And so I remember spinning it thinking, God, this is the most luscious, like soft BFL. And so I think it's something about it, like it was comb top that was then like processed in a way that made it a little bit airier and more woolen-y, which I think again, like made it super soft. But I had this bat braid combination that was just for me, like the most perfect mossy, foresty, licheny, like it just, I to me, it's old growth forest. Like, I looked at it and it was old growth forest, and I was like, I don't know what the yardage is because I'm even worse about tracking my spinning than I am about using Ravelry for my knitting. I'm just like, oh my God, it's so wonderful. Spin, spin, spin. And then, finish it. And, what's the yardage? I don't know. But I just was like, okay, 150 grams. It's not that much.
Yes.
But how am I going to use this like beautiful, precious, perfect thing? And it was definitely one of those, like, I'm so glad that I have a stash that is enormous, where I was like, okay, I actually worked really hard. I tried so many different contrast colors.
It's perfect
for it. And in the end, what I realized is like the handspun, the green of the handspun, I don't want to change anything about it.
Yes.
I don't have enough to make the big, giant, luscious, like drapey shawl that I want to. So I'm going to need to find something to work with it. I just couldn't pair. Like I tried gray, I tried so many different things to try and pair it with. And then I realized, forget it. I'm not trying to make like beautiful stripes. What I want is I just want to pick something that is, it's almost like I'm making a one color brioche shawl as opposed to a two color.
Yep.
And so this mohair is Dirty Weekend from Sonder Yarn, which, they're like the mohair. The Sonder Yarn Mohair is in a league of its own in terms of its softness. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. Yeah. I mean, Melissa has a wonderful mill that mills it for her. Yeah. But it's, the Dirty Weekend was this like, it's just this perfect, like, I don't know.
It is perfect.
Scummy, goldy situation that I could see in Lindsay's bat. The silk that she used was really similar to that. Yes. And I wanted the shine. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And I held it double just so that it didn't feel like I was knitting with spiderweb.
Yes, it's perfect. You made the perfect choice.
I'm so happy with it. I feel like the pattern reminds me of old growth forest. My like intention was, I have this memory of being in an old growth forest out in BC. And it was like one of those, like, it was like the golden hour. And there was this moment where I looked up in the canopy and like, the sun was shining through. And it really is that like rich.
I know. I looked that up.
So I love the like, there's like islets and there's it's just.
Jackie, I can't give it back.
I know.
I can't give it back. I can't.
So, I love the shawl. I love the pattern. I love the fact that it's only like 370 yards, which means for those of you who are like whether you're a hand spinner or not, like I feel like so many shawls you need like more than one skein of fingering.
Yes.
Or like two skeins of fingering or something like that.
Yes.
So I ended up using 75 grams of mohair. So that's like
to less than 2 of the 50
No, I might have lied. Hang on. Now I feel like I'm lying. I did write it down. 1 second.
I feel like that makes sense.
It was either just under 75. No, it was just under 100. So just under 2 skeins of like the 50 gram. So I don't know, 2 skeins or about 100 grams of the mohair held double, which I feel like is a reasonable amount of mohair.
Yeah.
And then the handspun was just under 150 grams of my 2-ply, but I'll have the yardage down. I think it's also a great shawl to think about if you have like a solo skein of fingering.
Yes.
Right? Like you can take 2 of your like those single skeins of fingering and put them together and you can get this shawl, which because of the brioche is like super generous. And Haley from Knit Weekend, she's running this cal that I think goes until like September called the Lonely Skeins cal, and the idea is that you're like knitting with like you're like one souvenir skein or like a one skein that's left over, and I think this is a great pattern for it because brioche is really it takes a lot of yarn, but I also think that you can really play with the needle size. Like I knit it on a US 4 to get this fabric, and so I think you could with a fingering weight with 1 skein of fingering and then finding like a matching mohair, or if you have like a fun like variegated mohair skein, that I think this is a really great pattern to kind of like use up your lonely skeins.
It's really smart. And brioche does well, I think, with variegated yarn. Well, as you can see, right? Like this one. Yeah. It just really highlights it and it works. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't, like me, I don't love the look of variegated. Yeah. Like even when it's not pooling, I just don't love it. There's something about brioche that works out really, really well.
This is the I am just, I can't take this off.
So, brioche, this is my thing. Brioche, 2 strands of mohair.
Wow. Well, and this like Haunui, and this like cashmere craziness.
I will say I've been spinning with Haunui, and Haunui, again, it's wild because if you look at the micron count of Haunui, it's not like 18 microns or 16 microns. It's like 20 something, like 22 or 24 or something like that. But it feels so ridiculously wonderful.
It's like sensual.
It's like slinky and soft.
I feel like our
and luxurious.
Podcast is like getting a little X-rated.
I know. That's how I feel when I put it on. I'm just like,
it's a bit indecent.
It's so indecent. It's so indecent.
I want to take it off.
It's like
I have to take it off. I can't. Actually, yeah.
So for those of you who are spinners, like get Haunui on your wheel. Get it on your wheel.
I gotta get some.
It's so beautiful to spin, and the fabric that creates, the yarn that it creates is ridiculous. And it has become so wonderfully accessible to us. And the Haunui is sourced from this amazing family.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it all from the same?
Yeah. Well, all the Haunui that I've worked with, which has come through Melly Knits and Megan of Bramble Ridge and Lindsay of Artifact of Appreciation, it's all coming from the same farm, and they do little farm updates, and you can look at their sheep, and their sheep are like happy and wild and so well taken care of. So if you're doing the tour, and you're thinking about wanting to try a different breed, Haunui.
How much longer is the tour on?
Until the end of Tour de France. So that? I don't know, I think there's probably 2 weeks left. I think it's 3 weeks in total. Yeah. Maybe I should do some. Let me know. Do you have Haunui in your stash? I'll bring you a braid. I'll bring you a braid.
I don't. Poor car. I'm in love.
Every so often I bring knits, and you're just like, you need to be alone with this knit naked in room.
I can't get it. I can't have it on me anymore. What am I trying to say? It's not enough. It has to be all everywhere. It has to be.
Yeah, I was blown away. And this isn't even blocked yet. I haven't even blocked it.
Don't. Don't do anything to it.
Really?
No. It's perfect.
Don't you think blocking is just gonna make it more like schmurk? It's almost like too slinky though. Not too slinky, but it's almost like I'm like that's not wool.
No, it's
like
not.
when I think about like knits and when like people who are not knitters think about knits,
cashmere.
This is like one would never think that one could make this. Like to me,
Nope.
To me, it's like to me, this is peak luxury.
This is the most delightful fabric I've ever had on my body.
Ever. It's
ever.
I mean I don't know. I really do think I'm like, I have quite an extensive, I feel like when I buy souvenirs, like my lonely skeins are invariably one skein of variegated fingering weight. Often I will buy 2 skeins of variegated mohair, which I think always looks so like beautiful and watercolory, but I'm like, I never end up knitting with it because variegated is not something that I don't tend to do. And I'm like, all of the variegated mohair is gonna be made into this shawl.
Yep.
Because I really do, the Haunui is delicious. I will say, like, spinning it and then the handspun, I was like, oh my God, this handspun is like, it's so slippy and soft and wonderful. But putting it together. I started with that handspun. I started to knit. Lindsay has a shawl called the Hidden Gem Shawl, which is really nice because you kind of like it's knit sideways, so you kind of like knit halfway through and then you finish it. So with handspun, where you kind of end up with whatever yardage you end up with.
Gotcha.
It's like a nice pattern. So I started it in garter, and I love garter, but I was like, the garter is not giving it, but it's the combo
this
of
fabric. This fabric that is what is making this so soft.
So like those skeins of like 100% alpaca that are so soft and wonderful, but like for me it won't hold up in a garment. You throw that alpaca together with mohair held double and just like, oh my god,
this is so
I really like the shape also.
Me too. This is my jam.
It's this kind of shape. Wanted that sort of symmetrical after I did this one. But yeah. Okay, you taking that off is a testament to how much you do in fact love me. Oh no, I just took it off.
I haven't quite made it. I'm trying.
Here we go. There's only one way to resolve this situation. Oh my god.
It's so beautiful.
And again, like, this is the mohair side
color.
out.
I would love that whole thing.
And then here's the handspun side out. One way to resolve this situation.
Oh, that's true. I'm in love with it. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, this is one that
it literally just hit my my shoulder, and I'm like,
it's the closest to a kitten.
Yep.
Like, but there's something about the slinkiness of it that I think is just really sensual is the word. But thank you to the beautiful producers who made this wool. Thank you to Lindsay for how she so beautifully one of the things that I will say is that, you don't get to see the dynamism of the handspun as much when you don't have a background contrast color, but I think it, like the mossy old growth forest vibes, I feel like it's okay.
You captured it. It's really, really perfect.
Like, yay.
That one deserves applause. Perfect.
I'm bringing you Hanui, and I know you have.
I may have a little bit of Sonder mohair. Might be all right on that front.
But this is my low contrast. Like, part of it is also my satisfaction of the low contrast situation, which I think will actually open up brioche for me, because I feel like for me, as somebody who likes low contrast, finding brioche, finding pairings for brioche is always not so easy for me.
Yeah, no, it's hard. It is hard.
But if anybody has really great brioche patterns, let us know, because I think I'm gonna buy a little brioche
bought, but I want to, I just have to eventually
shawls
get
or
sweaters.
sweaters.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
But I have to finish my fisherman's rib. My fucking straw. Sorry for the swearing. That one has to have an expletive in front of it.
Fisherman's rib is like,
I actually like it. I like fisherman's rib.
So fisherman's rib is different from half brioche, but you can sub the two, right?
There's a number of fisherman's rib ways to do fisherman's rib, I think.
I don't like the one going that you go underneath. Under. You go like like the going underneath.
But I think it's because of that. Maybe that's where English is helpful, because it's already like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm
always like, am I going in through the right place?
I just love that little poke. It's the same as when
it's
casting on. Poke. It is a little annoying, because if you don't when you're pulling it back through, right? Like, you have to catch it, and sometimes it gets stuck, right? Because you have to pull it through a stitch.
Gosh, that striya is so beautiful though.
I did this morning look. Okay, should I?
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
We got time. Do you want to show some whips?
Any other podcast would be like, I'm just swearing up a storm. I'm usually not that bad on here. We'd probably say, well, we've kept them 2 hours, so geez, but we're going, it's only 2 hours.
Do you want to show some whips?
Okay, I'm going to show, yes, okay. Yes, because I would like some help. Do I want help? I'm not always going to I might not do it, but I appreciate the suggestions. So these are, so Jackie went through hers and was like, oh my God, these are so nice. I need to knit them. That kind of has happened to me, but it was only this morning. I haven't touched them. So I was like, oh, are we going to do the whip thing? And then I was like, okay, let me pull out. And they're all in their own bag. So I didn't know what I had. So I'm like, whoa. Okay. I even squished, look at this. There's a sweater and a bunch of yarn in this little teeny.
Is that, oh God, I
By the way,
love
this. This is from Botanical Yarn. Buying yarn and using it are two different hobbies.
One of the best,
so good.
Best maker truths ever.
She makes such
I love this sweater. I love this sweater.
So this is the Straya.
I love this. Oh, this is the most perfect.
Look at this. I haven't even opened this in so long. I think this is last year. Oh, it's such a beautiful sweater.
Such a beautiful sweater.
All right.
Okay, wait. So, are you asking?
Okay, I'm going to show. Yes, what am I asking?
What are you asking for?
I'm going to show the whips that I have.
Okay.
You'll probably tell, maybe there's going to be ones and you're going to be like, you don't even want to knit that, don't knit it. So tell me if I should just abandon ship with any of them. Tell me if I have to finish because it's too adorable.
So here's the thing, because I asked about cables last time. Thank you so much to all of you for your input around the cabled sweater with the variegated yarn that is currently in timeout. Because I'm like, can I do it? It's beautiful.
And so obvious.
But what I love about the comments, what I love about this community is y'all tell the truth. I feel like this is a space where people tell the truth and they tell their opinion.
Yes.
And also there's always really differing opinions, which I really like. Sometimes there's a landslide. Opinion goes one way, like that time that Carmen was like, this color makes me look sickly, right?
You're like, it's fine. Everybody's like, no,
you look terrible. So one of the things that I love about the process of somebody offering an opinion, this is like a life approach, is that I'm like, somebody else's opinion will bring you closer to your actual opinion.
Yes.
Because there's a sense of oh, I agree with that, or I don't agree with that. And then it also opens you up to opinions that you have that you didn't know you had.
Yeah. Or
what you're, anyhow.
Yes. It's kind of like flipping a coin. Yes. And then you don't look at the coin. You're like, which do you want it to be?
Yeah.
Before you even look, do you want it heads or tails?
So as Carmen and I are basically incapable of doing things on the straight and narrow, in the way that we're supposed to.
Yes.
We're doing this whip down segment. And really, I feel like, because I know our community, and our community is going to be screaming, Carmen, that's gorgeous. I'm going to be screaming, Carmen, that's gorgeous. But Carmen, that's gorgeous is not a reason for you to continue to knit it, is it?
Yes.
It is.
Maybe.
So you want a rating on how gorgeous it is? Whether it's medium
no
gorgeous
idea
or
what I want.
Good? Okay.
This is it.
I was just checking.
I don't even know what this whip down looks like or what it is. I'm basically maybe I'm putting it out here because it's an intention setting on my end.
Right.
And I'm putting it out there.
Right.
So I don't even know what I need back from you guys, if anything.
Okay.
But I think I need something, but I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Are we ready? Look, I've just got balls and balls. It is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. Okay, now the story behind this is I would have finished it. Oh my God, it's on again. I only ever have it on the tiniest. Do you remember we talked last time with the tiniest cord? Okay. So
oh my God, Carmen.
Oh my God, it is. Oh my God,
it's so
it's
squishy. So beautiful.
It is so, look at that nice feather. Oh, people.
Okay, tell us about the pattern.
So the pattern, I can't even remember. It was freaking over a year ago.
I got a chi. We have the chi sheet here.
Look at that. It is, oh my God, it's so pretty. Look at the okay, I think I need to finish this one. The story behind this pattern. Okay, this is the squishiest sweater ever. The reason I didn't finish it, I actually loved it. I loved it going all the way starting. And people talk about the Straya. I've said before, I'm in a Straya support group on Instagram, but actually we've just I think disbanded because only one person finished their Straya. And I'm never in Knit City, Toronto, I think.
Oh my gosh.
I'm getting this right. She came, and I was like, you did it. You did it. None of the rest of us have, I don't think. But I was like, oh, this is so great. I'm really enjoying it, blah, 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 because you go to your next, you know, color, and it's just fun. But then I left it somewhere and I dropped some stitches, and then I just picked them up, and I need to just fix them. This is not hard this morning, but this is the first time I even looked at how to do it. Way back when I was first talking about this, people sent me links. Didn't look at it then. So thank you. But geez. Anyway, I looked this morning. It's like easy. It's like easy crochet hook. So I can get back on this. And then I don't have much more. I mean, I do, but it's not too bad. I don't think I have too much. It is a long sweater. Maybe it is going to be.
Okay. Let's talk about the stats of the Strya, which I think are important in the decision making. Do you want to know your stats or no?
Sure.
Okay. So there's several, like, first of all, the fact that you were in a Strya support group and that a Strya support group exists should tell you something about this sweater, which if we were talking about like product knit, like it is freaking ridiculously adorable. I think you got, the main color is this beautiful gray and this color that Cotyledon undulata. Superwash, 75% superwash, merino, 25% nylon 4-ply from Botanical Yarns.
Sophie's amazing. This was basically also, I was at a little knitting event in England. It was in a school gym, and kind of the hallways of a school. It was the cutest thing ever. And then I'm just walking along, not expecting I'm going to see anybody I know. And then there was I didn't know Sophie, but like I knew the company. And she had all these samples, and I tried this on, and I was like, I need this. And I bought actually a number of things. I have a Vera Velamaki one too.
I know. But this mini skein set, plus this gray, like it is the most beautiful thing in the entire world.
Yes, it is.
Also makes the most squishiest. It feels so remarkable because here are the stats, friends. The whole thing is knit in fisherman's rib.
Yeah.
She who hates ribbing but likes fisherman rib.
Yeah.
What, you're in size 2? I'm guessing you're a size 2? Okay,
so.
Your size 2 gives you a finished bust size of 36 inches or 36.75 inches or 93.5 centimeters. And that requires 1,310 yards of just the main color. Then you have to add the contrast color on a US size 2 with the gauge of 24 stitches by 50 rows. Like, that is daunting.
I don't even
know.
Like,
I thought twigs was daunting. Like, this is just like
Jackie's like, no.
I just chucked it.
She's like, I'm gonna be your friend, do not do it.
I mean,
I think I'm gonna do it. I know
it's so gorgeous.
Oh, it's so gorgeous. I wish that I had prepared, but that wouldn't be me. But like, put this on a thing so I could open it up for you and then try it on.
But I mean, well, you also can't do it because it's like borked over there.
That's what I mean. I can't do it. But I could probably whatever I've done.
But okay, do you want my solution? My mindset solution is that this is your Rhinebeck sweater. Because it'll create like a momentum of like, I want this to be done for something. And I don't know about you, like when what got me through the twigs, not what got me through, but the momentum that drove the last push of the twigs was like the sheer wanting to have it so that people could see it and try it on and wanting to wear it. Like, I feel like
I love the idea.
An occasion knit.
But the problem is that this is so summer to me.
Right.
That will I want to wear that in October?
Right.
That will be the thing, but maybe I will because it'll be so squishy. I actually am looking at this. Oh, I just noticed I made a mistake. Who cares? It's going to be there forever. I want this. So there we go. I want it. I do want this. I stuck it in a little bag. I forgot about it, and I really do want it. I want it. I want to be the other person that finishes the Strya.
Friends, what do you have to say to Carmen about her Strya? It's so good. It's so good, and you love a cardigan.
Cute. It would be, oh no, it's not really good with this one, but it's just a cute little throw on, right? I'm going to totally wear this. I'm going to totally wear it.
When I look at this, so I know that like in the sample, Andrea knit it as like like it's pretty long. It's longish.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that long.
I think this could be so cute as a crop.
I think I will do it as a crop because that will get me a lot.
It's less knitting.
Yeah. Look, what am I at here now? I'm looking like I'm at around. That's stupid needles. I think I'm at about 6 inches. I think I might be almost done. Yeah, I think I'm almost done the body. Now, then it's just some sleeves. And I think I'll probably only go to here. It's going to be like a little summer, like Cardi.
Yeah,
a cute little, and it's supposed to have like slightly negative ease, like because it's supposed to be just like, you can
like
see
I
how
think this is
you don't button it.
If you just committed to like, this is a summery, like this is a transitional season thing, you could do it like cropped and short for dresses.
Yes, this is it.
Because I actually don't see you wearing this as like a big slouchy.
No.
It doesn't give me big slouchy vibe.
But it can't, because that would be like winter.
Yeah,
like, I don't want a big slouchy yet. I want just a tiny little thing to throw on. Okay, it's happening. That's happening.
Yay!
I'm actually like reignited. It's what we just talked about. It's like, oh my God, now I just
you got your
knit
second
this.
win.
I do. Thank you all in advance. Okay, so there's that. I pulled this one. I've got nothing to show on this one. But I just love this. I think I've shown this before. That's Mystia by Thea Coleman. And I'm doing this one in Nutiden. So I actually pulled this one out yesterday when I finished, I cast off this. And I was like, oh, I need something. And I'm just in the ribbing. But I'm doing it with this really gorgeous Nutiden navy.
OMGE.
Like, it's happening. This is happening too. It's happening. I love this.
It's also a big gauge, right?
I think so.
And hits your cardigan goals.
It does. Yes. So that's happening. Maybe. And, whoa. Oh, this is funny. This is right. Okay, so they're all in their little like bags.
Okay, so here's the other thing. I appreciate the organization of a project bag, but I also think that project bags are where WIPs go to die.
Yes, because you don't see them.
You just forget about
I
them.
had no idea. Okay.
You forget about how you love them so much.
I laughed when I put this one.
Oh, God.
You're gonna see if I don't finish this one, it's gonna be ridiculous because this is how much more I have. It's almost nothing left. Almost zero. Just the littlest bit of ribbing at the
Carmen!
Oh my God! I have maybe 5 rounds. I don't even know. And a bind off.
Oh, okay, Instant Crush by Holy Locatelli. This was our Rhinebeck purchase from the Lamb and Kid. God, Carmen, it's so good.
It's so good. It's so good. Oh, you know what? I even have it on a long. I can even try it on.
Why did you stop?
Why did I stop? I think I was finishing something. It might have been before podcast. I can't remember.
Why did you stop?
That's a question for the ages.
Oh my God, it's
it's
so good. Carmen.
I did have to so I was playing yarn. Well, it wasn't yarn chicken. Well, kind of. I was running out of all the colors and I had to keep doing things. Jackie gave me some of the yellow. So that ended up working.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so good.
Do
Do you have enough? So this isn't a yarn chicken situation on the ribbing.
Nope.
Carmen. I just want to turn this off and finish the ribbing for you. I'm so agitated.
This should
if I could not be done. I'm like, why? Like, why?
Why? Even funnier. Now that I have it on, I'm like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. We made it in Surrey. Baby Surrey. Oh my God.
Surrey
Carmen,
alpaca, held double. Carmen.
I should be admonished.
You do hate ribbing. This is how much you hate ribbon. Oh my gosh, how much like I think 4 rows?
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe. All right, so this one has to be
Finished.
I'm waiting for the comment where it's like, nah, rip it.
It's trash. It's trash.
Let that one
Get rid
go.
of it. That one, you look sickly in it. You should not finish
That's
it.
true.
You do not look sickly in it. You look amazing.
Oh my God, I do love that one. I have my twigs. This is the one. Okay, this is what I'm thinking for this one. We talked about it last time, like whether I'm breaking up with this sweater.
You guys had a breakout.
I'm not gonna finish the whole thing. I just know it. I love, okay, so we talked about the contrast stuff. You're right in that it's not the twigs I was expecting, but I still love this combo
So
like
beautiful.
so much. So what I'm thinking is how, like, getting it to a place where I can just stop and then just, oh, but it's gonna be endless stockinette.
I know, I was like, I don't know that this is solving a problem.
I think I can do it. Endless stockinette. Maybe it becomes short sleeve. I don't know. I can't rip it.
So this is the twig sweater by Junko Okamoto in Sonder Yarn Co. Sunday Morning 4-ply in the color, I have to say this because people are going to be flipping out. This is Dream State. The teal is Dream State. The pink is Free Spirit. And I always forget. Full English. So the combo is just too good. It's just so good. And I do think that, I mean, you're not going to finish the whole thing.
No, I'm not going to finish the whole thing.
You're not going to finish the whole thing. There's no way that you're going to finish, like, you can't be knitting these two things at the same time.
No.
It's like too much of tiny toothpick craziness. However, I do think like finishing a certain amount of the yoke and then making it kind of like a classical like yoke sweater where it kind of like stops and then becomes stockinette.
That's what I'm thinking. And then once I get it to the stockinette, because the thing that's stopping me is actually pulling that pattern back out, trying to figure out, you know, like where I'm at. Well, at least I ended in the midst of a motif, so I'll know exactly where I am. But it's overwhelming. It's really long, and there's just like lots of stuff. And it's like landscape, isn't it? I don't like patterns. I don't like patterns. Landscape. I don't like that. Why? I don't. It makes me stressed.
What if I cut your landscape in half? Because the way that it's oriented is that I actually feel like, is it like 3 to a page or 2 a page? Or maybe that's the way I printed it. If I cut it into, if I like did like, and made it portrait, do you think that would be how you finished your twig?
Still no, but I think I can finish this, this motif, because I'm about halfway done that one. And then like, cause it goes here again. Then I'll try it on. Hopefully it's gonna fit. I think it will.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of the reason we also sort of stalled out was the recognition of you needing to do significant mods to the pattern in order to make it fit the way that you like something to fit. Yeah. Because your gauge is bigger than mine.
My gauge is bigger.
Yeah. Yes. Like your row gauge was bigger, and then we started to get into that territory where you were like, if I keep knitting it like this, the yoke is going to be too deep. And I'm not gonna like it, and there's no way I'm gonna be knit this whole full color work sweater if I can't get it to look right.
You're right. So this actually is okay. I'm feeling a little excited, kind of, but I just want to
so evidently cringing. That was like, I feel so excited.
I don't want to do it.
Should she rip it?
No, I can't rip it. It will just sit forever, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What ideas?
Yeah, do you guys
have ideas?
I also am gonna have to pick up the neck. I don't
Which
like
you
that.
like.
I know, but right
Carmen,
now I
you
don't
like it. It's 1 by 1. You like it. You like. We just talked about that. You like knitting the ribbing.
I think because
not the ribbing, the like
the picking up. I think it's because I'm scared of the short rows. That it's gonna do something funny, because I feel like that's why I didn't, right? Because it was like
I'm
gonna have to go in.
Already.
I did, but I remember I didn't do the thing because Lily had her little Lily from Curatorial.
But you don't have to worry about that.
I don't. I can just pick up like right at the top. Okay, that's what I was worried
that's how
about.
I did it. Lily did it according to pattern.
Okay.
And I went rogue. Well, no, I did according to pattern 3 times, and I kept getting a little tiny baby camel hump. And I was like, what's happening?
Right. So I can just pick up here.
You can just pick it up 1 by 1.
Maybe I start there. Maybe I just do the top, and then I know.
And then you'll see how it sits.
Exactly. And I think that I can stretch the something expletive out of this thing when I'm blocking it so that it's less.
Hang on, I need to pull up the twig sweater, because what I mean, most of you probably know what it looks like, but what
You've been watching our podcast.
Because we've been knitting it for forever.
It's been a saga.
What? Oh, I just searched twig sweater on Instagram, and it was like nothing found, but it was because I was looking for it under audio. I was like,
not yet.
Okay. I want to find like a high contrasty one so that people can see.
Yeah.
So there's the twig sweater. Now the question is, where does Carmen stop?
So right now I'm halfway through that motif.
Yeah. Where would you stop?
I feel like and do I put something under it? You know, like once I split for sleeves, do I do a little more? I'm considering maybe one more, maybe that under, because I don't know if I want to end on something that big.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, so you have to finish that chart, which is it's a nice chart, Carmen. It's fun. I promise.
I've done half of it.
And then I think you need like 2 more rows of the easy charts. You know, the ones where you're not
2 more charts.
Like I think because like you would do this one, which is, you know, I can't remember, but it's really easy, right? And then I think
maybe the next
you could make
one.
a choice of either doing the next one, or I might like bring back one of the ones at the
I
top
was thinking that too.
and make it like a border or something like that. So what you're really talking about to get this on its way is half of that motif, which is a really fun motif, and then 2 like mindless ones.
I agree. I'm kind of thinking I go back to this one.
Yeah.
So I do this and I just put that one there, and then I see, because if I want to, I could then add that one there, but then I won't have anyway.
But yeah, I mean, I love the idea actually of you splitting for sleeves and then taking some of the motifs down, but not going all the way, because you love that look.
Yeah, I do.
And then it could be a Rhinebeck sweater.
This could be a Rhinebeck sweater. It was supposed to be no, it's supposed to be this. Hey, I would have succeeded, and I would have actually participated in our own cow. Which I the whole time
it's
been
okay. You never participated in our
I
cow.
really almost never do.
It's because you knit something, I'm like, oh my god, I love it. Let's make a cow.
That's right. I'm like, I want to do it again.
You pre-participate.
I pre-participate when it's not an actual thing, because that tracks for me. I can't just do it. Okay, I think that's most...
What do people think?
Oh,
right. Oh, wait, I just had another idea.
Okay.
What if you what if you made it like a shrug?
A shrug split for sleeves, and then it's just how would I make that a shrug?
You could like finish the yoke. I'm just thinking about reducing your stockinette, right?
Yes.
What you could do is you could do the yoke, and then instead of splitting, hang on, let me think this through. Instead of splitting for sleeves, you'd split like sort of for front and back, and there would be an opening here, you know? Kind of like a Gujo collar.
Oh, okay, I could consider this. The other thing I was just thinking too is I go with what happened you did accidentally. Like, what if in the stockinette I increase like the wervel, and I decrease, I shape it, I decrease and use a larger needle to do it faster.
To make the stockinette go faster.
Yeah.
Possible.
I think I will.
Yeah.
I think I like that idea.
Oh, so you're making.
I'll still make the sweater, but I'll actually reduce the number of stitches.
Yeah.
And
by using a larger
needle
size, I think it's totally doable,
so
especially in that
especially in this wool,
massive,
because
it
just decides, it totally fixes itself. It's
yeah.
crazy.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, now Carmen has.
I don't know if I should show this.
You
one
have your
because I don't
6
have
months
my
and the
other
next 6
thing.
months of knitting.
Oh my God.
Sitting in front of us.
I have also one, like, this is hilarious. I bought
this one?
I know. I bought the wool and the book just for this pattern, and for this
shawl.
I
love
Inez
this shawl.
Sings.
Inez's mist shawl, right?
Yeah. No, where
This
is it?
book is
This book is so beautiful.
ridiculously
Carmen!
beautiful.
Carmen!
That shawl
freaking shawl
is incredible.
It's so beautiful. And I just loved it so much that I'm like, I'm gonna buy it. So, and it was Life in the Long Grass that they published it, and then I'm like, I'm gonna buy the wool for it too. So I did.
It's the
This
little
is as far-
babiest
this
little
is as
shawl
far-
ever.
This
Is
was
that the same color. No,
no,
different colors.
It's slightly different. I
Yeah.
went with a slightly different one, but
Oh God, it's so beautiful.
that's
It's so
it.
beautiful.
This was a This was my winter solstice cast on, not last December.
2020.
It would have been the year.
3.
No.
2.
2022.
It's okay.
Is this ever going to get finished? Jag. I think it will. It is beautiful, and I would want it to be finished.
So
I just
beautiful.
All right.
That leafy structure.
Right?
Oh.
Oh. And like, look at that.
Oh.
It is like, I think it's like there's linen in it, maybe. I can't remember.
Do I have the little balls? No. Life in the Long Grass linen singles.
This is
it's so beautiful.
I mean, I could actually, if okay, this would be one, maybe I rip it.
I think this is a rip.
And because I really like this color.
You need to repurpose this yarn.
Because look at that.
Oh
like,
my God.
That's what I want. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so here's my rationale. It's ridiculously gorgeous. However, I think you need to rip it because you don't like the shape of this shawl.
That's true. Thank you.
You don't like the shape of the shawl.
I will hate it. I'll never
And
wear it.
although I think the colors are really, really beautiful together, I don't think of this as a Carmen color.
No, it's not.
I think you want, like, I mean, it's beautiful. I would wear it. But when I think about shawls need to have a place in your existing wardrobe.
Never.
And I can't, like, with the exception of like white t-shirt or black tank top, I don't see you wearing this color.
3 of these.
Because this is the main.
This is the main.
Yeah, I just, I still feel like if you knit it and you finished it, it would be absolutely glorious. And you would not wear it because of the shape and because of the color
right.
story. And I roughly know what your closet looks like, and I have no idea what I would wear this with.
Oh my God. You know what's really funny? I was like, was there 3? No, there isn't 3. These are different. What's this? Because I was like, why do I have 2 balls? What is this? This is Sonder.
That looks like Sonder. That
Dirty
looks like
Weekend?
Sonder Dirty Weekend.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I was like, anyway. Okay, I'm good. That's good.
We have a ripper.
I'm ripping. I'm ripping.
I'm
That'll
gonna rip right
good.
now.
Would you like to rip it?
I love ripping out things.
And I have all these cute little like.
Then you can reclaim your cord.
Yes, my
Are we
cord,
doing it?
my prod. Yeah. Oh,
I'm like imagining. I'm imagining people on the other side of the screen, which I have definitely done as a viewer, being like, "No,
no!" But you're right. I'll never, ever. And look, I had a cute little like one of my special markers on there. Oh no,
my
that's
God.
not even that special. Okay,
the
but it's.
2 flamingos nuzzling." This is super pretty though. This little stitch marker.
Yeah, I think that was. I think it's somebody around here who gets like, oh no, maybe not, sea glass from Lake Ontario. But it might not be that. Maybe that's a gemstone.
It looks like a
Did I get that? I
gemstone.
don't even know. All right, and then I have one more whip that I can't really, I actually can't even show because the pattern, anyway, it's another lace thing.
Wow, that's an involved one.
It's late, yeah, like it's okay, so it's from Pernille Larson, like
Knitting for Olive.
Thank you, Knitting for Olive. And it's the one where in the book that they have,
I know exactly what this
and it has the tall collar. It's like Victorian looking. But I had to do it in a pink, and I'm a little bit not sure if I want it in the pink, but maybe it's okay. Yeah, you're gonna look it up. What's it? It's called. I don't know what it's called. Look under. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But that's the other one. I'm just putting it out there. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this.
Because I think it's like it's a whole thing, and it's all in this. What is this called? Feather and fan.
Feather and fan, I
lace.
think. Yeah, and it's very fitted. So it's a lace fitted.
It's like Victorian.
Victorian, has a high neck with a little like, I think, thing here.
Internet is not my friend today.
Heck. So that might happen, but I don't know if I like it in this color, so it might not happen.
I think it's another tooth. It's like another toothpicky.
Yeah.
Super engaged. And just the way that your energy around it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that's happening. Okay, so I feel like 2 are getting ripped. Twigs is getting altered so that I can handle it. And
Which one are you gonna do first?
I better do the freaking... I want to do this one first, but I should do this one first.
I think it's a tie, actually.
But this one will be done. It's going to be instant crush, instant gratification. Done. I could finish that tonight. Be done.
It's true.
Having a bow.
See, for me, I like my rationale is because that one's so instant gratification.
Start on that with my motivation.
You need to do this one first, and then when you're like, oh, then 30 minutes instant joy.
You got it. You got it.
That's my rationale.
I like it. Okay. Please let us know if there is, if you have any other thoughts apart from that one should have been saved, because that is a goner now.
Well, it's not.
It's
as I'm doing it, I feel deeply, actually, quite sad.
Why?
I don't know, because it's so beautiful.
It is. Does anybody else really like the curly-less?
Ramen?
Yeah, it's ramen. That is ramen. Okay.
Okay.
There's my whips.
There's your whips.
I'm not going to be putting any kind of deadline on it. And I'm probably going to cast on something else.
Whip management strategies, please and thank you.
Yeah. And do you have any whips that, you know, we're going through this and you're thinking, like, what if you guys go through yours and
rip out something with us?
Rip out something, or even just
rip it.
Like, what if you just, you can tell us anything, but if you want to like write out, oh my God, I looked and I can't believe I have like 40 whips, you know, or whatever it is, or these are all the things. Something to put it out there. There's something about putting it out there.
It's the momentum.
Yeah, that it reignites it or tells you like, oh, that's it.
That's it.
Not happening.
Oh my God, this is so, okay, I can't. There's too much ramen noodles. It's like
a lot of ramen
all
sitting there
with each other.
All right.
Let me see, do I have whips? Okay, I have one that I think I should rip out, but I put so much work into it that it makes me feel sad to rip out.
I know, it's hard.
Okay. Is this whip stuff fun for you?
For those that it isn't, they are not here anymore. They've skipped ahead, or done.
So as I was thinking about WIP-down, this ended up like sort of happening somewhat organically. My thought was like, I'm gonna try and take out one whip and have it like visible in my making space. You know, like this is just gonna sit in a way that you can't ignore it for a while.
Yeah.
That maybe that's how I'm gonna make my way through my my whip pile.
How many do you have still?
Oh my God, I have so many. I didn't even know, like, well, I thought I had so many finished objects that I shouldn't also bring my like 14 whips. But I did bring one. Okay, so this was my birthday cast on last year.
Oh yeah, what was this?
I don't think you've seen this. I don't think I've shown this one. Okay. So this, oh God, I kind of like it now. I really was ready to rip it. Okay, this is the beginnings of the Aster shawl by Natasha Hornby.
Oh.
Let me show you a picture. This is the picture of the sample.
Oh yeah, that's
it's
so
this
pretty.
really nice mosaic with eyelets, and then, you know, focus on the screen. This like really stunning scalloped petal bottom.
That is gorgeous.
Which is my favorite like design aspect of it. I love it. I love the flowery nature of it.
But you have to wait till the end to get it.
So I knit this single-stranded in Nutiden, and in order to almost make the same gauge as Natasha Hornby, I'm on a US 1.5. Single-stranded. I mean, it's beautiful, right?
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
And I think because my row gauge is off, I'm just about to start the scallop edge.
Oh.
No,
really?
No, that's not true.
Okay.
Yeah, it is true.
What?
That's what I decided. So here there's like 3 segments and then the scalloped edge, but based on my row gauge being really large, I believe I'm here. Like I decided that I was only going to do 2 stripe segments before I go into the scalloped edge. Does that make sense?
It feels like that's going to be very small. I don't know about that one.
I've already done it. I can see I've already like started the preparation to go into the shawl. I've already
taxiing down the runway.
It's already done.
Going. No getting off now.
Like if I were to add the stripe, then I would have to rip back this whole section, go back to this stripe, and then do the thing. Which is so not gonna happen. Too shallow.
I don't know. That looks really shallow. Like it looks like a baby shawl. Shawl for mice. No, for ants. Like in Zoolander. Skull for ants.
It could be a shawl for Lily.
Lucky Lily.
I mean, look, I can stretch the jingles out of it and then put the... So the scallop section is like double the size of this. And so it would be like that big. Go down to like there.
It's double the size of that?
Of this little stripe section.
I feel like you're giving it much more than a double. I feel like you're wanting that, but that's not double that, I don't think.
Okay, so let me talk through my process. I'll say that I did not love the process of knitting this. Which is probably why I was like, I'm only doing 2 stripe sections. Like and what I wasn't sure is how much in my mind, so this is in the colorway Piquant, Solvanda, and Alchemy. And I didn't end up, I thought, oh, rose gold. I didn't end up liking the way that the gold and the pink go together.
Okay.
I didn't think that it looked as nice the way that I thought it was going to look in my head. Okay. Which is why I was like, no more stripe sections. Also, I was no longer having any fun. And I knit, this is my 3rd Natasha Hornby in Nutiden. And whenever I knit a Natasha Hornby in Nutiden, I always have to significantly mod the pattern. Right. Like, because my row gauge is always much bigger than Natasha's. Yes.
And it definitely has a different, I feel like the Nutiden, particularly in this, like I actually think this is the fabric that would go with that. Like it's gonna make a very different, like it's just squishier than that.
So, I don't know. I mean, I think the fact of the matter is like there's no ripping this.
Yeah, there's no ripping.
Like there's no ripping it.
No. So you might as well finish it. Should you finish it?
I don't know.
What are you
gonna
finish it? What are you gonna do otherwise? Just leave it like that? What could it be? What could it be? Anything?
No.
What if you put it together? Small. Like, could we make it into like some kind of a like a
bandana thing?
Yeah, like if you were to seam this or something.
Good try. It really is way too small.
It's really ridiculously small. Like Jackie, like. Are we really saying that this shawl is almost done? Like that the border section, we're ready for the border section? We're not. Okay, here's another question. Because you're not almost done, but you're not gonna rip back, because why couldn't you just change the pattern so you just start adding whatever you want? Add another one of these here, just do it. And then like
there's like really complicated stitch counts. Like the stitch repeat is not so easy.
Oh.
Like it's not just like, oh, eyelets. Like the chart, that scallop chart. I think I have to get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Pull it out now.
It looks so beautiful here.
I know. But you know what? There's so many beautiful things.
It's true.
And we have to like, okay, what did I say? There's something with somebody. Oh, I was talking with a client recently about friendships and how sometimes we can be like, have friendships that aren't really actually people we really like that much. We just kind of are still friends, but you don't really enjoy being with the person. And that time is limited. So if you spend that time having lunch, even if it's an okay lunch, it's actually meaning that you couldn't go to lunch with somebody you really, really liked.
Right.
So you can only knit one
So
thing at a
many things.
time. And do you want to knit this? Is it going to be worth it instead of the other?
I think what I've established is that there's no freaking way I'm gonna knit this pattern. Like and also the whole scalloped edge is a twisted rib in a single strand of Nutiden. I don't think I'm gonna do it. But I am looking at this wondering if I can just make up the rest of the shawl.
That's what I'm saying. Just make it
So
up.
that it becomes like a crescent. Like I could repeat this and then do another like eyelet section and then be done with it.
Do you want it? Do you want this more than some of the other things that you could do if you just decided this one was done and now suddenly you're free? Like, you know, if you return something, you buy clothing,
Right.
and then you return it and you feel like you made money. I do. Does anybody else feel that way? My husband laughs. He's like, no, babe. I'm like, look, now I have all this money to spend. He's like, but you shouldn't have spent it in the first place.
Yeah.
Anyway, especially when I want to buy it and I'm going to return something. So I know I don't have that, that's not the amount I want to spend. So let's say I buy a bunch of stuff and I know I'm going to return some part of it, but then somehow I've already spent that money. So now I'm like,
Yeah, it
it's
feels
free
like
money.
extra money.
Yeah. So anyway, is this the pattern you want, or do you want to just have a free space?
Okay, but when I look at it like this, I think it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. So many things are. I think you're going to finish it.
You think you're
I think you're going to do it. You're not going to do the original. I think you are going to do something with this because you don't want to let this one
let it go.
So that tells you something right there. It's flipping the coin, getting
Right.
heads and realizing you wanted
Right.
tails.
But I'm really actually, thank you. Thank you. You have helped me to establish that there's no freaking way I'm going to be doing that scallop border. But it could become like a crescent shawl.
Yep. I don't even like ripping this thing. I almost think you're just, who cares? Leave it. When do I ever really use all the skein, right? Like I probably am ripping this with no reason.
The worst part about ripping for me is untangling the ramen noodles.
Exactly. And the problem here is that you have to twist because
You
it's
have to-
two
'cause it's
colors.
intarsia,
You have to
right?
twist it. Yes. So each time I'm having to untwist.
Okay, does anybody have any ideas on how I should finish this? How I could finish it? Like if I did another stripe block?
I would do another one of these because I feel like it's nice to have a few
Some
of those.
continuity.
Yeah. And then like
This top section was basically knits and purls. This top section was actually quite enjoyable.
did you like it?
Yeah.
Okay, then do another
Maybe
one.
I'll do. Maybe
this
I'll just
eyelet
like
one. I like that. Or is that annoying?
eyelet one was the one that killed me.
Okay, then don't
Absolutely
do that
killed
one.
me.
That one's done.
Maybe if I put one more stripe in, and then I just like revert to this and just finish it with an eye cord.
Mm-hmm. You're blazing fast knitting. You could get that done, and then it's there. And then it's done. And then you have it because you don't want to not have it.
I mean, part of it is that I really love the color combination. In as much as I said that I didn't like the stripes, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, kind of like the color combination.
I like it. I don't know why
Yeah.
you didn't like it, but I love gold and pink. I think it looks good.
You don't think there's not enough contrast?
It's a Jackie
It's a
creation.
Jackie
I mean, that's what it is.
Okay, this has been revived. I don't see this happening anytime soon, though. There's like way too much brain involved in how I undo my beginning of the scallop border, which
You don't have to. You
thinking?
don't have to. Leave it. Just start coming from here. This is your shop.
I just get to do whatever I
Start doing
want.
it.
I
You do
actually
whatever you want.
don't know where the pattern is and don't know
You don't even need
where
to.
to start.
But that's the thing. You don't even need to.
Right.
You're
All
just
right.
going to be increasing.
Right, I'm going to be increasing fairly willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, this has been very successful.
Has this been fun?
I mean, this is only like 3% of Jackie's whips,
So
but
many whips.
she did something.
And they're
with
all
it.
just partially started shawls and yokes.
Maybe you don't like shawls as much as you think you do.
You know what? So it's dead on true that I love the product of a shawl.
Right. Not the
I love the product of a shawl. And I feel like shawls take me a year because I don't have the stamina to like go through unless it's this. Which, you know what, is the reason it's done is because it wasn't that much yardage. It's not because
This is it.
I mean, the fabric is luscious and I didn't want to have anything else running through my hands. However, its completion is related to...
touching me. Oh. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. I can't.
I had this, so my husband felt it and he was like, can you make a blanket like this? And I was like, okay,
We make our bed sheets this?
Yeah. I was like, well, number one, no, because that's a lot of artifacts of appreciation fats. That's like way too much. I like spinning, but I don't like spinning that much.
Oh my God.
And also I'm like, I would never get out of bed.
No.
I would never get out of bed.
Absolutely. Nobody would.
I was like, we would do nothing. We would live in this.
Sounds delightful. It's the perfect way to die.
This is what?
Time of starvation. You're perfect happy. Don't you care? It's ridiculous. It's actually ludicrous. It's like how amazing that is.
Okay. But I don't,
yes, you were saying something.
No, these are good things to
know.
know.
Yes. How many, does it have less stitches? Like,
absolutely, yes.
Yeah, it's probably like how many, do you remember how many it had at the max?
Like, I want to say like, I didn't actually count because if I count, then I get depressed. And I won't finish
too many
it.
because we would know. We could even count these. It's not that many.
Yeah, it's not. I would say, actually, it says in the pattern. This
It says how
many stitches, like how many stitches you should have per section.
Oh, in the actual pattern.
In the actual pattern.
In Ravelry, I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
You
can give the ballpark.
Like less than 300.
Yes. See, that's significant.
And I was honest. I was kind of like, at the end of it, I was like, whew, these rows are taking a really long time.
I know, it's because it's a contrast of them. In Hannah's, my little like thing that I made last time, she's going to release sometime soon, Victoria Hull.
It goes the opposite way.
Exactly. She does it on
brilliant.
purpose. She's like, it's amazing. You start with the
large,
and then you just keep going like, it's less and less and less.
Yeah. Just kidding. Oh, now that I'm looking, I did make a modification. I was running out of handspun, so I didn't complete the pattern as it indicated. So I did everything as titled, and then I stopped the last section short and added a little row of eyelets, which isn't in the pattern. In the pattern, it's like a picot edge.
Oh,
but for mine,
gotcha.
I did an extra row of eyelets to finish here, and then an I-cord instead of the picot. Because I was worried that I didn't have enough of the handspun. I'm happy with it without the picot. I mean, I love the picot edge, but I think it works the way that
yeah.
And I was thinking of like tree rings. That's what I was thinking of, like the.
I always love the way you do that. Like you think so much about your knit, like how it can be representing something. I really like that. I don't think I've ever done that, but I've always admired it.
You have your Dawn shawl.
Yeah, but not yeah. But did it represent? It did, like it was like yes, but not in the same way. Like, you know, like you will think about, this looks like a whale tail. Like I want it to really.
That's the momentum though. For me, that's part of the momentum of the knit. Like it's like there being meaning around it gives me the impetus to get to the finish line.
Right.
And I think a lot of because like the whole, you know, Amy Palco, like a shawl is a sacred space. I do think actually that's why I cast on so many shawls, because the idea generation of like, oh, this is gonna be like this energy. I'm like, oh my gosh, right? Like this was a sunrise, sunset. Oh, Venus, like that was the inspiration around this. But then if the process is not enjoyable, that like symbolism will only take me so far.
This is it.
And I also sometimes think that like we are attracted to certain energies for certain periods of time and then we don't need them anymore. Like I kind of feel like there was something about the energy of this that I really needed, and then I didn't need it, and then the moment, and then I needed it again, and that's what helped me finish. But
right.
Okay, no more shawls, no more casting on shawls that are like 3 skeins of fingering, because I just can't do it.
Or you until you're done something.
I mean, until I'm done something would probably be a good principle to not follow.
I'd be like specifically going and casting it on just because I wasn't supposed to.
I know, like the fact that you were like, never, I'm like, I'm gonna do it right now.
Screw you! Even though this is my own decision.
Yeah, this is my own decision. But I do think that like sort of knowing what you like and what works for you is important.
Agreed.
Like,
well, like you said, I'm not gonna wear this shawl. That was really important, information for me to consider. It's true. So why would I bother making this? I wouldn't use it.
And it's like 3 skeins of finger weight yarn.
Yeah.
And all of it is involved.
And it's
like the whole shawl is like textured
if you
and
haven't
lacy
knit an Inez Sung shawl, it's involved, but it's so worth it.
Her shawls are like my...
They're
like their art. It's
they're
works
momentous.
of art.
Yes, I gave mine to my sister.
I know
one.
that you gave your oh god, what was
that one called?
Annalise Autumn Shawl.
Yes.
You knit in single-stranded Nutiden with
and
baubles and lace and
like,
twisted rib.
I know.
It was so beautiful.
So beautiful, perfect colors. I loved it so much, but she wears it all the time.
Yeah.
So it's worth it.
That's the like generous, beautiful, loving human that you are.
Sometimes.
Plus, I feel like the rule that we have about gifting each other knits, which is that at any point I can claim it back.
Yes.
Still applies also to your sister. I think you would have some trouble getting it back.
I don't think I could get that one back, actually. Pretty sure that one's a goner. But it is. I'm glad that she has it.
All right. Now we're done.
I think we're done.
Let us know how you felt about that. Maybe what we'll do is like, are these all your WIPs? Is this all your WIPs, Carmen?
Yes. There was one. Yes.
There's one more.
No, it's that's never gonna finish because remember that one with bee mandarins, like orange one that I ended up knitting another. I knit that dress in the Harden.
No, your Eurus.
My Eurus is in a different place. I have to finish my Eurus.
Okay. I think you have one more WIP. I have like 10. So would it be helpful? Like, was this a fun? I don't think you want to either.
But I loved knitting that.
I know.
To the point where I was sad because I was away and I ran out of my thing. I didn't bring an extra skein. I loved it. I don't want to do it.
I know.
Why?
I don't
love
know.
it. What's wrong with me?
There's nothing wrong with you. There's just too many beautiful things to knit. Was this fun? Yes. Shall we bring a couple WIPs shall I bring a couple of my WIPs every single time to talk through? Or no WIP down? Yeah, or every once in a while a WIP down. Yeah, every so often. We'll I feel like it's kind of nice to get a big burst of a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's true. Rather than because otherwise it's just a normal WIP. Oh, it's true. Right, we're kind of doing that. We'll still do that. Yes. But yes. We always have so many FOs. Mostly because of this one, but that we usually don't have time to show, and we talk forever about each one. So, if you're gonna spend 45 minutes doing each FO, it's gonna be okay. Well, for those of you who stuck around for the whole chatty WIP down section, we hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for being with us. Thank you. We hope that it gave you a little bit of something to think about in terms of your WIP pile and what you prefer to knit or love to knit or don't love to knit. Yes. You're wrapping up and I'm gonna say another thing for no reason, but it reminded me of when we were at Knit City Toronto. So for those who don't know, we were helping out in the Sonder Yarn Co booth, and so we got to meet a bunch of people, and it was interesting to me people's process of buying yarn, because some people are just buying yarn and that's kind of a process I would do. I'm like, this is how much of something. Sometimes I have a project in mind. I usually have a project that I'm thinking would work, but I might not actually do it. Yeah. And then there are people there that were like, I only buy yarn for a project. I and then I finish that project, and then I come up with another project and I go get yarn for it. And there was something very admirable about that. I really liked, I liked the intentionality of that. And you just focus. Know what you want, yes, and you go out and get it, and you don't get all distracted. Don't even. So well done. Yeah. But for all of you who don't do that, I get it because that's how I am. Now you can finish. did I have? I had a stray thought and then it disappeared. Oh, you know what I'd really love to know though? I'd love to know the like over under or like the stats on like if you buy yarn with an intention for the yarn, how often does the intent
That's interesting.
happen?
And I bet you there's a personality interaction. I bet you some people are like, we could probably like, it would be correlated. Specific personalities would be like 100%.
Yeah.
And then other ones would be like 2%. And that would be an accident.
What do you think your percent is?
That's a good question. 10?
Of buying for, because you're somebody who you like you're like, let's say you were gonna have a no buy, not that you're ever gonna have, not that I think that this is something that you're gonna do, but like if you were if you were like having a no buy situation, which actually you went through one where you were like, I was shocked at how committed you were. We went to a fiber festival and she's like, I have too much yarn, I'm not adding to a stash. And we're at the fiber festival and it was just like yarn everywhere and you actually didn't buy any yarn except for to make a wreath.
And I bought a million embroidery kits.
Yeah,
that I haven't done.
Anyway, it's another part of the stash, so it doesn't count. It's a new hobby.
I also have not made the wreath.
No. I mean, we actually bought, you were like, oh my God, it's so cute. And I'm like, it's so cute. And I was like, are you gonna make it? And you were like, probably not. And then you grabbed it and bought it.
And the thing is, it sits in my little basket. Yeah. I look at it every single day.
It was beautiful.
Should I do that, people? I should do that. I should do that.
Knit the wreath.
We knit the wreath.
Okay, but what I was gonna say is that if you were like, I'm doing a no buy and I wanted to sabotage your no buy, I would just dangle kits in front of you.
Yes.
Like you love a kit.
I love a kit.
Like that's what would break it. I would just like, you would be like, I never need it.
And I'm like, oh my God.
But I feel like you, in as much as you buy kits, you have so many kits. I feel like this might be the only kit that you bought where you knit the kit.
This might be true.
Like you often,
so many.
Right?
I bought 4
Look at what we
kits.
just did. We're ripping the kit.
I bought 4 sweater kits from Botanical Yarn that day.
Mm-hmm.
They're all so beautiful. They're so beautiful, Jackie.
I know. But I feel like what you do is you buy kits and then you use the kits for other things.
I do. The number that White Mountains. It's never. They keep like Melissa and Jackie keep saying, knit the White Mountain. I bought the White Mountains kit. Knit it. I'm not gonna.
She's not gonna knit it. Like you love to buy a kit and then repurpose the kit. That's your buying. Like,
don't tell me what to do. It's gonna be something else. But I think when I buy it, I'm going to.
Yeah.
It's almost like Pinterest. Again, I've said this before. You know, if I pin a pin on Pinterest, it feels like I've already done the thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like I've already completed the project by hearting it or whatever you do on Pinterest. When I buy a kit, it's like I've already made the sweater, but then I have to actually make the sweater.
Well, this is why I think that the joy of it is like the potential.
Yes.
It's like the potential of what it's gonna, like it being from amorphous to something. Once the something happens, you're like good.
And then it just sits there like waiting for me. That Pride and Pearls is waiting because it has to be it. It's gonna be gorgeous.
So perfect.
But I just
yeah. What's your like, how do you acquire in your stash?
Yeah.
What's your over under? I don't think I don't buy with patterns.
At all?
I'm like, I'm like, this will make a shawl, this will make a sweater. That's how I buy.
But when we were at Rhinebeck, we kind of were like, okay, we're gonna make that, which I still haven't. That remember like sleeveless vesty thing we bought from that place.
Yeah, that's not happening. Bow Layers Orchard.
That's it.
They had this amazing sample, the Timbo vest, which I think is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's this beautiful vest that we all tried on. We were like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Then I bought it for that, and actually, I repurposed it for another. Yeah. It's one of my WIPs, not the vest,
wasn't it?
But
no, I don't know.
I have a whole cardigan that I started to knit. That's
like
a definite rip out. Yeah. But I don't. Yeah. Gosh.
now you're going through.
I'm having like a life
Memory.
realization in which I like to create kits, but I never knit them.
Yes. Well, maybe that's why we love Knit City.
Yeah, we
so
did.
much.
I was
Just
like-
making kits.
Like just once
And
the
then that
kit
was
was
it.
done, I was done.
That was it. I didn't want to do. I want to cast on that thing I made. I made it. Remember? Don't you remember? Can't you read my mind right now? One of the things.
Dirty Weekend Fresh Sheets and
No, yeah, that one was a different one. But that's. I want to do that
No.
striped sweater.
oh, Andrea Mowry stripes
Striped sweater.
with mohair with double. It'll give you this vibe.
It's gonna be amazing.
Andrea Mowry.
That I want to cast on. First.
That's the same
That's the
thing
same
as this
idea.
though.
That's
So
the same idea.
we're
So
talking
that's why
about
I'm
the
gonna do
striped
this.
sweater by Andrea Mowry,
Yes.
which
In mohair.
is another like lonely skein. I think is a lonely skeins project
100%.
contender because
Yes.
Melissa had a sample.
But she's so smart to do it in mohair. Like it was so
Yeah, it
different.
was so beautiful. Of this sweater that Andrea knit. Her sample was like in a sport weight. With the where the gauge was 21.5 by 36, and I am almost positive this is the sample. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. This is the sample. And Melissa knit it in mohair, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't know this for sure. I know that her sample, which had quite a bit of positive ease, I would say it was probably like
size 3 usually.
size 3 or 4
Yeah.
is what Melissa normally knits.
Yeah.
It was 5 skeins of mohair
Yep.
held double.
Different color.
Different color.
Different color, yeah.
So 5 colors, 5 different colors of mohair. But I think that the gauge is like, I think it was maybe knit off gauge.
Yeah, probably.
Because when I swatched for mohair held double, I got like 18.
Gotcha.
So I feel like that one would be like it would
I could
just
finish
go.
this one and then I could just start that one because it's a very summery, my color scheme.
I also feel like if you knit that one, it'll satisfy the need for this one.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
I think
exactly,
it's
so
like
that
the
I
same
won't.
vibe. Like because it's
So
like
do you think
bright
once
summer.
I finish this one, I won't want to knit that one? Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll find out. Who
But I
cares?
think that if you knit that one, it'll steal the momentum
Yeah.
of this one.
I feel like I got to start this one.
Yeah.
I think I pulled. Finally, I went on YouTube to look at
Yeah,
how to do this today.
you're ready.
That was something happened.
Yeah.
Something happened. Also, thank you for being with us while I ripped this because there were so many times where it got all caught and I would have just, if it was just me on my own, I would have just thrown the damn thing. But I'm like, I'm sitting here chatting. It's all good. Almost done.
The beautiful solidarity of our community.
I know.
Thank you. We love you guys.
And we will see you whenever we see you next. I don't know when that is. Oh, hey, happy 2-year podiversary.
Yeah.
I think this is now.
Right.
It is.
It's true.
Beginning of July.
Hey, you think we'll get through all these WIPs before our next anniversary?
I will.
Carmen will.
The ones that I've said I will do.
All right. I'm putting it out there in the universe.
Okay.
I'm going to finish this in the next year. Maybe. It's so pretty.
It is so pretty.
All right.
Okay.
We love you.